recording.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Ayer Conservation Commission meeting. It's November 9th, 2017. Let's open by confirming the agenda. So we have a discussion, 3 public hearings, and then we had a number of orders to sign and then a number of sidewalks to deliberate on. Is there anything to add to the agenda that we have?
In the section on signing, those will all basically be 1 minute each,
Okay.
continuing to the next meeting.
Continuing?
Because they're not ready.
Oh, okay.
They're
I
just-
see what you mean.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else to add?
No.
Okay.
One quickie, which is apparently we had to reformat the conservation administrator job description to match the format that they're all doing for this outside consultant. So we had that talk with Robert that, he said, just don't worry about it, just
They would do it.
right, but apparently that didn't happen. So I just reformatted it really quickly last night, and there's just a couple little questions, but we'll get there. It will take
Well, then
all of
let's-
3 minutes.
There's absolutely no way it
Maybe
takes 3
4.
minutes.
Maybe 4.
15 minimum is what I'm writing right here.
No.
There's absolutely no way it's less than 15 minutes. Including the 3 minutes, we're going to start bickering about it right now.
Got it.
So after the 9:30 committee updates, I'm adding 15 minutes
And then we'll be done with that.
for reformatting for a job we weren't even supposed to have to do.
Although to be fair, every other department had to do it themselves. But yes. So, confirmation of agenda. You were saying.
I would accept a motion to approve the agenda as horribly marked up.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Start changing those. We have meeting minutes to approve.
Yes, we do.
Did everyone have a chance to read through the meeting minutes, George?
You did. You didn't?
So we were not recorded last week?
We were not recorded last week.
Okay.
We have really, really good minutes from last week.
Yes, which is good. So I understand Mr. McGowan came in after and talked to you in the office.
He did. He came in for his paperwork, which I handed him, and I gave him a link to the Chapter 91 doc information.
Great.
And I did talk with Judy Schmitz about how we should proceed on
Okay.
that. And I don't know when you want me to tell you about that.
Well, we can put that in under your regular updates?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been back to see if he's removed the tarp or any of that?
I didn't go in his driveway because the crane was there the day that I went over that way.
Okay. Can we go tomorrow?
No.
No, but I could go
Town
Monday.
What?
The town's closed tomorrow in honor of
Happy Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. Yeah.
Why isn't it a Monday? Isn't it always a Monday?
No, it's always the 11th.
Awesome.
But usually they take holidays, then they do it on Mondays, I agree, but if they
The
did
Labor Day.
And also if anybody's going to the
Well, they
transfer
did for a while,
station,
they did.
Yeah,
Wednesday and Saturday.
Do we have any issue paying BC Group? Any pushback or feedback?
Nope.
Seem like a legitimate question. Have you been back to Jonathan Drive?
Yes.
Oh.
No plants in the rain garden, but no washout from those big rain events most recently. That looked pretty good over there.
So, 6 of one, not the half dozen of the other.
Right.
It's a little too late for plants, I think.
Well, probably not, but
No, it's
He's-
the time to plant plants.
he's
The
in-
time.
I'm gonna get an early.
You want to put them in while they're already, you want the plants to go in while they're already hibernating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
If you can find them,
if you can find them.
that's the issue.
Well, we walked that site over a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they had plenty of time. Yeah.
All right. I would accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written for 10/26/2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Do we have any announcements?
Announcements. We have only one announcement, and the announcement is the receipt of this snappy booklet from the Zoning Board of Appeals with plans.
They took our room one night, you know.
Did they really?
They did.
This is for the
Was that planning board?
Yeah.
Planning board.
for the parking deck.
Planning board member here.
And he probably remembers.
By the way, did everybody hear who the new appointed member of the planning board is?
Yeah.
No? Ken Diskin.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Should we go through our job first?
Yes.
No offense. So this is for a parking garage?
Yeah, it's like a one layer parking garage. Well, I guess really, they're putting a parking deck over the rail trail parking lot.
Okay.
And they need a variance because they want to put in smaller parking spaces than usual, so they can get more of them in.
Is this by DCR?
That's not clear to me. Mart has something to do with it. I think DCR might currently own and manage the parking lot,
Mm.
but I'm not sure it's DCR who's putting up the
No, it's
parking
not.
structure.
Yeah, it's all hard, right?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Right. Well, I guess the good news is that we can say this does not appear to be jurisdiction.
That's exactly what I said.
Interestingly, right across the street from there is where we had a whole lot of issues with the fire department and the stream that runs down in behind Moore's.
Yeah, yep. So that's a copy of the signature page that they just wanted back. So we get to keep the snappy booklet.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
All right, that's the only announcement. Do we have
that's the
any
one.
accounts payable?
We have, let's see. We have one real bill.
Is it Solitude looking for their final money?
No, this is Solitude looking for money for water chestnut testing.
Oh, which we approved.
Yeah.
Do we have the approved results?
We do, they're not down here, and I
Okay.
haven't read them yet.
It was an email. I read them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the water chestnut look?
It was below the limit of, concern.
Oh, okay.
The level of arsenic.
Was below
That
the
they-
level of concern?
Yeah, so they combined the 4 samples and they just tested. They ground up all the plant tissue and tested. It was below the EPA limit of, I forget what they call it, limit of something,
Yeah.
but limit of
All
concern.
right, so the important part is now we have enough information to then go to somebody else
Mhm.
and say, okay, if we pull 1.5 tons of this out, is that a problem?
Yeah,
It's just because that one's below the limit of concern. If I have 1.5 tons of it in the back of a truck,
yeah.
what now?
Yeah, it's additive, basically. If you have like a
Right.
ton of, water chestnuts, you will have a certain load of arsenic, and then how do you
then?
dispose it?
Right.
Dispose of it.
There may be a way to ship it in smaller pieces. There may be different ways to handle it. But now that we know what the number is, then
Yeah.
there's more to do.
It's also a good way of actually removing arsenic from
Underlying.
underlying mud, muck. Yeah.
As long as we have a place to then go put
Yeah,
it,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which costs more money than this.
Remediation effort, I know.
Yes.
A lot more money than this. Okay, so we have in front of us a bill for $600. This is for water sampling for the water chestnut, chemical sampling for the water chestnut, work that we agreed to in a meeting past. Sampling was done on 9/14, report was issued 2 weeks ago. I would accept a motion to pay Solitude Lake Management $600 for the water sampling that we previously approved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any other?
We have a bill that's not a bill for my going to the enforcement training because
Excellent.
they had a grant to
Yeah.
cover the surrounding towns.
So it's just, look how much this would have cost, but you didn't have to pay for it?
No, it's, look, you didn't have to pay for this and we're not gonna tell you how much it cost.
That's a mistake. That's how you get credit for doing the right
I
thing.
know.
It was 95, but we gave you a discount.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything to pay on
No. No. And we have a bill from the newspaper that Martha is now prepared to pay since Jess and I processed all the checks. This is all our legal ads.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So these are all legal ads that we've done, and all your check marks are, we got the money.
Those are Martha's check marks, and she just won. My check marks are bigger than Martha's check marks. And she and I left it that you guys would in fact approve these instead of just having her pay them.
unless you want to change that.
So in other words, a bill comes in for $90.82, she gets a check for $90.82, and we have to tell her she can pay for it?
Yes.
Sure.
No, we always used to do that. And then our previous agent started just not bringing it here. And then I think we had not liked that. But we could do it. They can, since it's the revolving fund, we could
Well,
have those
I'll
go
put it this
directly.
way. Martha's checked off that all the money is here.
Right.
So effectively, at that point, other than going through and asking if we actually got all these checks and then bouncing them back against each one of these, we have no way to determine this at this stage, right? Because none of these actually tell me. This one says, unless you can tell me what I01554319-10062017 for $83.65, I couldn't even begin to tell you which application that was. I can tell you that it looks like it was on October 20th.
I have the proofs and the costs
Mhm.
for each ad, and I could.
Do those have this number here, this I01554319?
They have 1555031,
Oh, that's one.
030, 032.
Yep. All right, so I have an idea.
Yeah.
Since you've got the proofs,
Yep.
and Martha's already checked them to say she has the money,
Yep.
right? And I'm assuming that her checking it also means that cash check cleared.
I don't know. This came back pretty soon after we brought her the check, so.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I don't think we've ever heard, and I know we would have heard if we had a check bounce,
mhm.
right? That would not have stayed quiet.
Right.
So, if Martha checks them,
Mhm.
if you want to go and do your own check down the side, because these numbers are right here,
Yep.
and that way you can say, yep, I've corroborated, Martha's absolutely right, we did advertise this.
Okay.
Then in here we can sign it, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually when this happens, it's like 4 of them, and so it's no problem for us to say. And these used to have descriptions. Like it would say 17 Oak Ridge or something like that. So the fact that these no longer have descriptions is what irked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to have them still come back to us for signing, or? they can-
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is the best use of our time.
Well, I think it's actually a good idea.
All right, this says, so this is not the real total though. All right, let's do that next time. So on here, it says $604, balance forward, so it doesn't say what we're actually approving at tonight's meeting. So this is $90.82 plus $83.65 plus $83.65 plus $86.04 plus $86.04 plus $78.87 plus $83.65 plus $86.04 plus $83.65 is $762.41. $762.41. And if that's true, then 1280 8904 plus 8604 minus 604 67 is 762.41. Okay. So, going forward, if we
Yes.
could double check ourselves and do the math on the bill, because the top lines are what the balance forward is that the
Right.
town owed, which was $1,000, and then
Yeah.
it says minus 8604 for another payment we made. So if we just know what the number is.
Okay,
So tonight's number is $762.41. I would entertain a motion to pay the Sun Sentinel and Enterprise Valley Dispatch from Colorado Springs, Colorado, $762.41 for advertisements.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. That takes care of all the money, the announcements, the meeting minutes, and the agenda. We're off to the races. Okay. Our 7:15 is a discussion with Robert Hood, Eagle Scout. Hey, Robert. How are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. All right. So, Robert, I had a chance to chat with Joanne today, and she said you had a meeting with the building inspector today,
Yeah.
and it sounds like that was pretty interesting. What did you come up with?
So, he said that the rock might not support the bridge, and I might need to rethink that, and also I need to go back to Mr. Goldsmith to get the plans actually done out on properly and stamped and everything.
Right. Is that a process you want to keep up with?
Possibly.
Okay. So the only reason I ask, and so one of the things that that really occurred to me is that any one of us here could build a bridge with a couple of logs across the stream, but that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And this is a lot harder.
Mhm.
And it sounds like one of the things, if nothing else, that comes out of this is you're probably saying that this was a lot harder than maybe you thought it was.
I knew it was going to be hard.
All right. So we're very excited if you can find a way to get with Cal, but our only concern is we really don't want those piers to end up under snow where people could trip on them, for instance.
Mhm.
Or a snowmobile.
Or a snowmobile could, that's not supposed to be there, could get damaged. For the person on it, even worse, could get worse damaged. Do you have a schedule for when you might go see Cal to figure out your plan?
I can email him either tonight or tomorrow and figure out something within the next week or two.
Okay. So that would be great. Our next meeting is on the 30th.
Right.
That's the last week of the month. Is the 30th, right? Yep. So the only thing that I'm worried about for you is we're running out of days before the ground starts to get frozen. In fact, it's supposed to go below freezing tonight.
Mhm.
again.
And so I don't know if you've ever had to pull concrete out of the ground once the ground is frozen.
I have not.
Yeah, but you can't really tell where the concrete ends and the
Yeah.
frozen ground starts.
There's a first time for everything.
It's very disappointing. So we're excited if there's a way that you can use the piers that you've already done, but we're also very understanding if there's not a way for you to use the piers that you've done. So as we briefly discussed before, it wasn't okay to put the piers in, but if there's a way to make them work, we want to work with you. So please get with Cal
Mhm.
and talk to him about what the best plan is. And then if the piers are going to stay, then we need to come up with a solution so that we do something over the pier so that people can at least see they're there,
Mhm.
so that no one gets hurt. And if they're going to come out, then let's work together to make sure that they come out of the ground and we fill the holes in so nobody gets hurt that way.
Right.
So,
So Robert, you remember what Charlie said about his concern for the piers and the depth and not having been inspected?
Yeah, if they're not 4 feet, then that's a problem.
well, it is. And do you know why?
Because of the frost line.
Excellent, that's right. So over time, the frost will heave the posts,
Yep.
which would be bad if you had a bridge. It's much, much worse if you have a house. But in this particular case, the other reason is sometimes when you dig down shallow and you hit a rock that feels like it's very big with your shovel, but it's only a little bit bigger than the hole that you're digging.
Mhm.
And when you go and you pour that concrete and you hit that rock, if you're that shallow, you will not necessarily get enough bearing area to carry the load from that bridge. And so that's one thing that I'm sure Charlie was concerned about as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's only being concerned about people's safety and yours as well, of course, because I'm assuming you're going to use the bridge.
Yeah.
So whatever you can figure out with those, that's great.
Okay.
All we're looking for is a plan. So we just need to know what your thought process is going forward. I imagine Charlie probably mentioned something about digging down beside the piers to figure out how deep they are.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you take pictures when you were digging them? Anything like that?
Not that I have with me.
Okay. If you had photos, especially any that showed you with a tape measure or even with the shovel you used in the hole, if you had a picture just of that, that would help Charlie to make a decision.
Okay.
Anything that he could stand there and say, oh, that shovel? Okay, because you can literally measure on the shovel and say, looks like you were down about 2 feet. He could at least give you some information or some advice.
Okay.
I hope one of the things that comes out of this is you'll find as you take on any kind of building project, there's no number of photos that's enough. Just keep taking pictures the whole time you're working.
Okay.
So.
And what was the other thing we decided that we should
Make copies.
make copies? So I did find Robert's RDA application.
Fantastic.
I had to call Kate because we don't have a street address over there. So how the hell
well, that
do
makes
we
sense.
have filed this thing? So I think you all have a copy of
Yes.
Robert's RDA. So you understand from our meeting this afternoon that you've got 2 processes that you have to work through at the same time. One with Charlie in the building department that involves Cal and the plan and fastenings and all that. And then one with us that talks about the Wetland Protection Act and having legal authority to do what you're doing over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you filled out with Kate is the beginning of that. And so what didn't happen was the next part of this. Nobody went out there
Right.
to see if your project needs our oversight. We suspect it does.
Oh, it does.
It does.
It does. I think we can still stick to an RDA for a bridge.
Okay.
I feel like it's right on the edge of what is probably appropriate, but given that area and what it'll be used for, it feels like an RDA is the right thing. Saves you time and trouble. It's a lot faster than the other way. But you can understand why both the building inspector and the Conservation Commission need to have a plan that is stamped and shows exactly how you're going to make stuff.
Okay.
So that's good. But obviously you've got a little catching up to do.
Yeah.
So if you would please speak to Cal, you can always talk to or email Joanne
Yep.
if you need
absolutely.
any advice, if you have any questions. And if you and Cal have any questions, I would be thrilled. Cal certainly has my email. You could email if there's any questions about what's been done or what our basis will be if you guys can't reach Joanne. So just tell Cal we very much want to help you. We need to get a little caught up on where we are for what's built versus what we have on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And then, as we talked about this afternoon too, if you decide that this is in fact more than you can chew, that's a positive outcome of this process. This is a really big undertaking.
it's tricky to build a bridge.
It is,
You know-
especially when you're not already an engineer. Or a carpenter, or,
Or both at the same time, which is
Yeah.
what's painful.
right.
But I think you're if you go and get the help that you need from Cal, and you can satisfy Charlie, I think it goes pretty quick from there.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the first two really big steps.
Okay.
Because you need what Cal has, which is the ability to design the piers and the members for the bridge. And you need Charlie to say that those piers are okay. And I can imagine probably spend a little bit of money on the concrete, but it's not super expensive. My feeling, and I say this to you because I'm often reminded that when I was your age, I was worried about every nickel. I remember, we were trying to figure out how to reuse motor oil. The point is that if you have to break up $10 worth of concrete and start over to do it right, that's way better than giving up because you don't want to break up $10 worth of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty short way. So, just something to think about. If you ended up having to redo those a little bit, that's not that tough. So, and we'd love to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, very much look forward to you meeting with Cal and coming back with a plan. Can you come see us on the 30th so we can figure out what direction you're going to go?
I should be able to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Great.
Good. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't
Sure,
think so.
project.
Yeah.
Anything at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So always the first thing to start with, always is the plan. You don't know what you're doing unless you have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have the drawing, then you can figure out what the work is, and you can figure out how long it'll take and what it'll cost. But you've got to start with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, good luck with that with Cal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's the Conservation Commission.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you twice in one day.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Me too.
I thought you were just slow.
You clearly didn't see our agenda.
I was going to say, you got to be too old at home. Hang on.
All right. Our first public hearing is a continuation. Let's reopen that public hearing. It was for an NOI for 231 Snake Hill Road, White Horse Builders, DEP file number 100-0412, orange fence.
Do you want the long story or the short story?
Do we have a order of conditions to sign?
You do.
Excellent.
That would be the short story.
Wonderful. Was there a lot of hand-wringing and arguing to get here?
There was only a slight bit of gnashing of teeth,
Okay.
along these lines. Most of which turned out to be not Rob's client's concerns, but Rob's own thoughts on the matter. The
Interesting.
client was concerned with soil piles and no, I'm not going to remember the other thing.
Equipment storage?
Equipment storage?
We definitely talked about that in the meeting.
Yeah, that could have been. And Rob was being
Persnickety.
not persnickety. He had some really good points about, well, if this particular thing says this, does that mean the homeowner will never be able to wash his car in his driveway?
So we've had discussions like this in the past.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because there's lots of in perpetuities and don't do
Yeah.
this and don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of them are much more appropriate for, say, doing the road work or the infrastructure at Pingree Hill.
Yep.
And some of them are not so appropriate for doing a single-family home with a driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And that has definitely been one of the things that came up. And it would be a fabulous thing to say, we have this one for a residential project and we have this one for a commercial project. And no, we don't care if you have to wade through 85 on a commercial project. That's what happens on a commercial project. And here there's 7 for residential.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I say that? And it's just as
Sure.
I was looking for something to make me angry.
It's really very heartening that Rob is so easy to communicate with.
And that's good.
He had some, like one of the perpetuals about stationary equipment or nothing stored or operated within resource areas or buffer zones. And we added in outside of the driveway because he was concerned on the driveway.
Yeah.
If you have a generator or something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Well, and I agree that we don't need an
Ground.
environmental monitor at this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we changed that to the designee or something like that.
Well, we can even say the applicant or designee, if these positions exist for the project, should all be at the meeting. Should say, or even to change it to say, there would be one meeting at the beginning of the project where the applicant and all representatives, e.g. environmental monitor, engineer, site foreman, etc., will be present for one-time meeting with the conservation administrator to discuss the project.
Yeah.
That's a pretty responsible thing to say. And it also says, basically it says if they exist as opposed to where's your environmental monitor.
Yeah.
I believe this was George's language. He was just adamant that everyone needed one.
And did you all get to look at the project-specific conditions on this one?
For the replicator, for the,
For the snake plant?
yeah, the Stankel idea.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yep. No, that was good.
It's such a tough site. It's just such a tough site.
Oh, it's if they aren't incredibly careful, it will be a mess.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that it's for sale, though.
That sign's been up there for a long time.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird considering the person came in here who was supposedly going to buy the property and build the house.
Mm.
Might be waiting for something else.
Train, maybe. Okay. So at this point, we have reopened the public hearing for 100-0412. We have special conditions that have been order of conditions with special conditions and boilerplate conditions that have been modified to fit the terms and requirements of this particular site. Does anybody have any further discussions or anything else to say about this, other than the fact that we all agree that it's a very risky site considering how close it is to the resource?
I think that's what we have to say.
I just wanted to numb that. I didn't want to hear it 3 times. I'd accept a motion to issue the final order of conditions and close the public hearing for DEP file number 100-0412.
So,
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion passes. Order of conditions is issued. And the motion, the hearing is closed. All right, thank you all. Let's open the public hearing. We have a notice of intent for DEP file number 100-0415, 114 Pleasant Street. This site had a couple of issues. How did it come out? Ooh, let's do the short version. Do we have a
There's
order
only
of
the short-
conditions?
I only have the short version, and here it is for you to sign. But before we get there, I'm going to tell you a story about
Tried so hard.
about plants. And the only real issues we had going back and forth with Nick on this involved orange snow fencing. And
Is it expensive suddenly?
it must be a pain in the neck to pull out at the end of the project,
I
and
see.
somebody's got to take it to the dump, and
I personally think that the issue is that people are so it stands out.
Oh,
So
yes.
it doesn't look great when you go to sell houses
Yeah.
and there's this orange snow fence.
right.
But I would think it would be a great thing to point out and say, oh, we put that up to protect the plantings that we did as part of a wetland replication. It's going to be beautiful back there.
Yeah, so we, Nick was willing to change out one of the plants on the new plan. So we have an amended plan, and he basically gave up trying to get there to be no orange fence. We did, Jess and I worked hard on this. We came up with some language that says as long as the fence is up there for a year or until a house sells, and then the fence can come down, and each plant gets marked with a.
You know, one house is already sold.
Yes.
A lot.
But we talked about when construction's complete. When the
Yeah.
house
When
is.
construction.
That was what we
yeah.
said in our last
Yeah.
meeting. I just took that out.
Let's just make sure that the language is the same, because otherwise what you just said is the fence never has to go up.
Oh, no.
Oh,
The
no.
fence has to go up for at least a year, and then after that year, when construction, it's complicated,
Okay.
but I think it's also robust.
Man, I'm into complicated and robust. Usually in my relationships. You know what I'm saying, George. If I got stuff for you at the end of the meeting. It's about Alabama. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, we had said at our minutes, fencing required for the first year or until construction work is completed for an individual lot.
At which time the fence can come down and the stakes go in.
Yeah.
All right, so read that again.
Through
For at least
to-
1 year. For at least 1 year.
Yeah. Or if, in 9 months they finish the.
No,
Okay.
no, absolutely
one.
not. So how is it written?
Yeah.
Because what you just said, if you just sold, there's no
Okay.
reason to put it up. What condition is that?
Oh, conditional, I don't know, I'm looking.
Jess is on page 5.
I'm on the minutes.
Oh, that's not going to help me at all.
Yeah, I know.
Is the wording the same on Snake Hill?
No.
Is it different?
Yeah. All right, I think we just start at the beginning and go until we find it.
Is that
I
No, this is
think,
Snake Hill.
I
don't have
think
the other
it
one.
might be 17.
Without a
F?
love of my own, George. Without a love of my own.
F.
Sorry, you're taking the brunt of this tonight. 17F, the approved limit of work from the plan shall be survey located and approved by the commissioner or its agent prior to commencement of work. The limit of work shall be demarcated using orange construction snow fence staked in the ground to ensure that work is contained in locations approved on the plans throughout the duration of the project construction. At all restoration areas, this fencing shall be located immediately behind the erosion controls and shall remain in place for a minimum of 1 year, or until construction is completed on an individual lot, if that happens in less than a year's time. So we gave the farm away.
Well, also,
Not
no,
necessarily.
read the next sentence.
I don't know that there's anything more to
Well-
read.
We haven't issued it yet.
Did he already agree to these, though? It would be inappropriate if he
Yeah.
agreed to the language and then we changed the language during the meeting. We can't do that.
Sure we can.
Read the
Only if we kick it back to him.
read the next sentence, please.
It is desirable because of wanting to sell a lot after, if it is desirable because of wanting to sell a lot after that initial 1 year, or the completion of construction if that happens in less than a year, then the staking of individual plants with orange painted stakes can take place and the orange fencing can be removed.
That was what
That's
we
pretty
discussed
clear.
in our last
Yeah,
meeting.
if the construction is complete and it's less than a year, the fence can come down and
Like,
the
I
plants
guess the
need to be
concern is
staked.
that, but it's regarding the entire project. So if a house gets done on Trevor Trail, the construction fence can come down at the bottom of the hill, which is what we were trying to protect. It doesn't say a contiguous lot, it just says a house.
Just for that lot, though. Doesn't it say just for that lot?
No, it just says house. Limit of work, plants demarcated, staked in the ground, plans at all restoration shall remain in a minimum of a year, or until construction is completed on an individual lot. It doesn't stipulate that that's a contiguous lot, or it just says an individual lot,
Individual lot.
right? On the project, but the project is the entire project. It's Trevor Trail all the way down to,
But
Whatever the name of
an
the other one is.
individual lot doesn't define the whole lot.
No, and
Right?
the thread running through this is that this is all about all the restoration areas. So I never really thought we had to be
That on,
specific.
okay. So,
But we can be
I can-
that specific.
I can live with this. I just assume that the very first thing they're going to do is, once the house is done on Charter Trail, they'll pull all the construction fence up. Because they can. I guess there's another way to look at it. The idea behind the construction fence was because they're supposed to put a bunch of plants in.
Right.
And if during the period that they're expected to have those plants grow, if they ruin the plants, they're going to have to put more plants in.
Yeah.
And then the period will start all over again.
Mhm.
So
That's,
I guess we can just fit this right into buyer beware, and it's one of the places we have to visit to go see how many plants they've ruined.
yeah.
It's to their interest to have it in place until the plants
Well,
take.
clearly not, or he wouldn't have fought so hard.
Do you want to add in a clause that the fencing can't come down until it's inspected, though?
Well, I think the most
Notifying
important part
expenses.
is that right now,
He did-
Onyx Corporation,
He didn't want the orange fence at all. Nick
Well,
didn't want any orange fence.
he probably doesn't want it, because this is for Onyx, and as soon as Onyx is done doing what they do, they're probably gone. So that's probably part of it also.
Mm.
So that means that the present owner of the property would probably end up cleaning up after it, which is part of why he probably didn't want the fence there.
Probably.
So let's go back to what we have as to the plants and the growth. So like with grass, we say you have a 2-year growing cycle. So what do we have in here?
We didn't bring our copies.
Okay. Supervising monitor should inspect the planting stock to ensure it complies with the approved restoration plan. Specimens are healthy, free from pests, and suitable for use within the vacation area. Should be approved for plant set. Authority to determine if the specimens are unsuitable. Genus, species. Authority to propose substitutions relative to species size and quantities. Plant materials purchased from New England Nursery. Initial construction identifying behalf of locations. Plant material to land delivered in 48 hours. Typically between April and June. September and November. Do not install in frozen soil. I actually don't agree with that. Space within 30 calendar days. Certify to the commission that a site has been constructed in compliance with reference permits. Within 30 days following plantings, they have to tell us that they're done. Okay, great. And then they have to tell us what they did. At least 75% of the surface area should be established with native plant species within 2 growing seasons. Restorations monitored on an ongoing basis for 2 growing seasons. All right. So we're supposed to get a letter within 30 days,
Mhm.
and without the letter, they didn't start.
Right.
Okay, so once we have the letter, we're effectively on notice, and we can literally put it right on our calendar that, you know, if it's November, then, you know, we want to go back and validate that the plants are good.
Yep.
All right, does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any further comments or questions about this one? You, sir?
No, I sort of agree with you on the orange fence issue, but
Well, I guess what we're also doing is I'm afraid that at the same time we're making too much of trying to protect them from themselves. If they go down and ruin all the plants, they're starting over.
yeah.
And our intention was that didn't happen. So we were trying to do the right thing. At this point, what we should do is do this and just say, yep, you send us a letter, we'll be back in 2 years. I don't think that's the best thing to do, but it is certainly the responsibility of the applicant to follow through on what they said they would do. So
Yeah, okay.
just involves faith in the applicant.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would entertain a motion to issue the final order of conditions and close the public hearing for DEP file number 100-0415.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. I'm guessing I should have pulled the thing with the sticker on it.
Well, are you going to sign it?
Well, I just flipped past it when I was trying to find other stuff. I didn't stop. Okay. I heard 1, 2 ayes.
Aye.
Okay. All right, in our evening of contentious behavior, we have a public meeting request for an RDA from 15 Oak Ridge Drive, the Tillotsons. Ms. Tillotson, do you officially and formally recuse yourself?
I officially recuse myself.
Excellent. Does anyone on the commission have an issue with Ms. Tillotson staying in the room? Not the other applicants. Anyone else?
My lips may be moving. It's fascinating to see how boards work.
Well, in this room, it's different. When you're trapped up in the little room upstairs, it's miserable. Mr. Tillotson.
I'll see what we can do.
So tell us about your project.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Tillotson. I live at 15 Oak Ridge Drive with Bonnie Tillotson, and we're requesting an RDA to replace a deck on the home we purchased 3 years ago.
Isn't it crazy? I can't believe you guys have been in there 3 years.
Feels like yesterday, Bill, to be honest with you. It's been a great ride. And I did not bring my copies of plans with you. As you can see, the deck, we'll place the deck in pretty much the same footprint as it is. It will be, it has not been designed yet. Footings will be either sonotube or some such low impact construction footings we can get now. We don't intend for a lot of excavation back there. I don't know the name. I actually saw some new footings going in recently on some decks. You may have seen them this square, and the pipes drive in 4 different directions. May or may not be a solution for us. We're really not looking to create any impermeable surface underneath the deck at all.
I would be a fan of those in a different soil type. In our soil type, you're just as likely to hit a rock and go in, a foot in every direction and not get anywhere.
We may find that out. What we've discovered, though, on the property is, I guess when the house was built, they were overly generous with the excavation.
It was nice of them.
Yeah. And the backfill.
So there's sand all around the back of that.
It's an interesting composite. I mean, I've obviously not dug down that deep, but all around the house, it's depressed. So I've got to assume there's over the years. I mean, it was built in the '60s, so and we don't know really what really happened there. But in most places, you don't see the soil depressing against the. We do have water still in the basement.
You have what?
We had water after the last storm, and it's welling up from underneath.
So I can tell you, and I skipped over the backfill with Xanax, because it's depressed.
Yeah.
So
You've got a captive audience here.
well, it's funny on that side of the room. It may make sense if you're thinking about doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It may make sense to incorporate into this work digging around the outside of the foundation and putting in a pipe to duct water away.
We thought about a French pipe. We've also thought, as you may know, Bill, I've done a fair amount of solving water problems around construction. Don't know what the solution will be.
But if you get it in here, then it's permitted.
I understand that, and I would not, of course, not do anything with it isn't permitted. I'm answering a need for a deck project that should have been started over a year ago.
Does it say honey-do list on here?
That's a special checkbox we add.
Certify the existing house and proposed deck are located on the lot as shown. I certified he was supposed to have done this in 2016 when I asked. Yeah, it's right here on the plan.
It is. At 2 p.m., 2 a.m., about 2 a.m. every other day, I'm reminded of this. Actually, to be honest with you, the rain we had the other day, the house person had a concrete pad added to the front of the house, and I think that directed the rain in to our foundation. It's happened only once, and we have rain dripping in through on the electric service.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh,
yeah. So it's not an overly critical problem. It will be solved though.
so, okay, so it sounds like, have you had a chance to go out and visit the project property?
I did. I brought a little picture.
That's my yard.
Familiar? Yeah.
Did we
You're on the video
and
camera,
this is
you know.
unrelated.
There's a security system there.
Cool.
Did we ever figure out how to do that on this?
Well, we did little pictures last time.
I know.
I haven't figured out how to do big pictures yet.
I brought a video.
If we could get Cindy to get an Apple TV hooked up to this thing, which I bet she could do, then I could just, from my phone,
Actually.
I could get them to go right up there.
And the iPads we use on the boards could do it too. They can cast
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. We have an office iPad.
Mhm.
Is there any reason you can't cable out of the Office iPad into that? Oh, no, it has no cable ports,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Sneaky melon farmer.
I'm going to ask Cindy for an Apple TV. That they're $100. It's a teeny little
Let's
box.
call it Plan B. Let's just start with, we have pictures on a jump stick. How do we make them show up so that we can show everybody?
Oh, you just put the thumb drive into the side of the.
Right, except that the pictures came out small.
No, I emailed them to this thing. That's why they came out small.
Oh, so if we did it from a thumb drive, it works properly.
Probably.
Okay. Can we make that Monday's experiment?
Or some maybe next few weeks.
I'll send you a photo of a dog. You can try it up there and see if it works.
I was just gonna go sit outside for a while.
Well, unfortunately, it's crucial to your application because I wanted to see the picture, but so.
Well, I can.
You know, it's funny. You were driving by last week. We were heading off down the street. We saw you.
Yeah.
I almost invited you into the yard. I didn't realize it was you, and we were on our way. To go somewhere.
Well, I think the problem was, and I said, is there beer at the house? And
Yes.
your partner said no. And so we just.
Well, she wanted me to leave.
There's some strange woman in the audience waving to make a
Mr.
comment.
Chair, may I comment on the project?
If you're against it, this is really going to mess them up.
It's going to be very simple. If we need to dig down to remove dirt, that dirt will be going into my garden boxes, which is about 250 feet away from the wetland.
Well, that's wonderful.
So the dirt has a place to go.
Okay.
We have,
You've instructed the general contractor?
we haven't instructed him, but he's.
I heard what you said.
It will be
Unlicensed.
probably the contractor that has worked on our house multiple times, because we like him so much. And we have a hay bale.
You have a
We
waddle.
have a
Wattle.
waddle. Oh, you saw the waddle.
Stock that we
I saw
got
their waddle.
generously from a.
Colleague. It's been a previously approved and used waddle in
Yes.
good condition.
Right.
In very
That
good
we can-
condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put near the.
Recycle those
site.
waddles.
Why does it look like you have a repeater antenna on a post?
Here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I work out of the house. I need cell service.
How about that? Okay. So we've covered all the critical items.
We've got Joanne on the video system.
Yeah. So
You didn't know. She didn't know.
I did email Bonnie to tell her I was coming.
Yes.
It's quite all right.
So there's only
Thank you.
two things that I would bring up.
Yep.
Thank you. So there's only two things I would bring up. Number one, typically when we do this, we have some idea of the number of posts.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you're probably 6.
I'm
if you're
probably going to go with
doing the
6. I'm probably 6 or 8, and so that you know, the intent is to cantilever the deck, and the cantilever will be probably 4 to 5 feet based on the load.
Okay.
But the post positions that you saw, we
Yeah.
intend to keep.
Okay.
So they're about 8 feet off the foundation at this point. We don't intend to move them anywhere closer to the beam.
Well, that's good
Resource.
because I asked
Yeah,
Bonnie about it. She said you can't deliver like that.
exactly. Ain't my first rodeo, Bill.
You have to say it in the old man's voice from the man who said it to me one day. We were doing a plan review, and he goes, how's it going to hang over like that? I said, well, that's a cantilever. Oh, you cantilever like that? And I was too young to know that was the funniest thing I ever heard. So 6 to 8 posts. You know what you're
Yeah.
going to do with the soil.
Mhm.
You're 63 feet or so out to the water.
Yes. That was when we had water. Most of this year was about 72 feet. It's back to 63. and
Is it-
I'm glad.
Good.
Yeah, someone said to me, "What happened to the ponds?" I said, "The aquifer filled up again." They said, "What?" I go, "Yeah, the aquifer is finally filling, and we're seeing the surface water come back up."
Yeah.
So the next
That's
question
my
is,
story. I'm sticking with it, George.
Are you
Yeah.
sure you don't want to hold off on this and amend this to include the excavation on the side for French drain?
The excavation on the sides of French Drain will be on the front of the building. It'll
Okay.
be outside of the
May I speak, Mayor? The next project will probably be an NOI. There's going
Oh.
to be a significant amount of earthwork.
Well, that's
on the
fantastic.
next project.
Through you, Mr. Chair, to
Sure.
Commissioner Tillotson.
Please do.
Would you please ask Commissioner Tillotson what we're doing next?
Actually, speaking as the project manager, where's the money coming from?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Commissioner Tillotson.
So,
I printed.
if the next project is an NOI, that's fantastic. We're looking forward to it. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Tillotson regarding his 6 to 8 deck posts, soil to be removed and stockpiled in locations that are outside of our jurisdiction, and a silt sock of questionable release to be placed around said work product? Any for you, Jess? Excellent. Then I would accept a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability, which means that the law does not apply in this case. I can't think of any special conditions.
No.
So I would accept a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability for 15 Oak Ridge Drive.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All abstentions?
She's not in the room,
She's
sorry.
actually not abstained, she's recused.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's refused. Yeah.
Do we have any?
Boy, I'm sitting at the
You
table.
know what? For all the ones that I did bring, that one I didn't bring.
Okay.
But
I promise we can deliver it to the house.
I'm perfectly fine, and it can come digitally. Works also for us.
Well,
And should you come to the house, by all means,
we don't. These don't have to be recorded. The RDA's are recorded. Right. So.
whatever's more convenient, by all means. If you happen to come by when we're there, there really is a beer fridge in the house.
Huh. Would have
Okay.
imagined. Actually, this is mine. I'm sorry.
Oh, you'll let me know what I owe you for the advertisements.
yes.
I don't know how that works. I don't think we pay at the table, do we?
Well, actually,
Well, you
usually we
can.
demand.
Good.
Usually, what
But
happens
I
is
don't think I know what it is.
I can give you a blank
you
check
sent
and she'll
it,
sign
you
it.
sent it to me while
I
I
would
was
be extremely
away.
uncomfortable
Oh,
that someone
yeah,
else
I-
would do something we didn't ask them to.
That's okay.
What typically happens is we find out how much it costs before we show up, but we didn't get told.
I have a feeling you actually read it off earlier in the meeting.
We got
We did.
told
Was it one of the ones that was on there?
when I was in Montana. Just got told. So
It's either the 83 or the 86.
Oh,
Or
well then let's do
Bonnie
this.
says
Grab the,
8176. But I don't want to hold your meeting up. I know you've got a lot to do.
No, it's just going to take 10 seconds.
There's a very
Grab
patient gentleman.
Grab the stuff we signed off on.
I don't think it would be on here because it was in a separate.
Okay.
It was
Yeah?
just a
Okay.
It was just a
I was
one.
all excited. I
We
just
know how to
figured
get a
we'd
hold of each
you
other.
to use those numbers.
Oh, wait, no problem, I'll check in. 8126.
8126. Town of Ayer.
Sent to Commissioner Tillotson on October 30th. Who responded,
Town of
thanks, no problem on the check-in. Well.
So I'm sorry, 8126?
8126.
26.
Off by,
And it is Town of Air, right?
Town of Ayer.
it was off by 40 cents.
Okay.
Are you writing a check now?
Yes.
People do it.
I have to think how to do it. I can't think of the last time I wrote a check.
Right?
I put in check because it's just all day long, but I don't write them.
We were discussing the things that we need to teach our 16, 17, 18-year-olds because
Would you sign up this time?
they've never seen it. Why would they have a checkbook? Everything's
Yeah.
done with with a bank card. They don't know what the inside of a bank looks like because they've never gone in.
Want my license?
I'll get Bonnie's license.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Let us know if you have any issues or questions. We'd be thrilled to show up, especially if the beer fridge is on the new porch.
Yeah, I think the way it goes, if the garage door's open, we're taking company.
Well, I have to tell you, for
And
a
I
very
see it
long
on
time.
TV, which is scary.
Did you ever go by that house? The previous owners were there?
I watched that house for well over a year, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting story that we'll tell
Well,
you, not on
not
TV.
now,
Not on TV. I'm conscious of where I am, thank you, of how we actually came into possession of the home. See the look on Commissioner Tilton's face? She's so happy that happened.
I look forward to hearing the story on the deck.
With a beer, a large beer.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.
Have a
sir.
wonderful night. Send her home before daylight.
Our meetings don't start before daylight. Okay. Here we have, Steve, if you'd like to come on up. Here we have our first one. I was looking. We have the request for amendment to the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0279. Let's reopen that public hearing.
So these are the 5 that, Steve, are not ready yet because Joanne spent like 5-6 hours on Saturday and she cannot work more than 40 hours during the work week.
That's right.
And I mean, I told her she had to not come in for some time on Tuesday at least.
I know, and I
Because
listened.
otherwise she would be over. So they're not ready, but what's next in the slot for the next 3 weeks is working on all your orders of conditions.
All your many, many, many orders of
Yes.
conditions.
All right, so our next public hearing is on the 30th. So I'll do them individually just for the purpose of making sure we don't miss any. So I reopened the public hearing for 100-0279. With the applicant's permission, I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to November 30th.
Second.
I actually just saw a thing on 60 Minutes the other night where the whistleblower for one of those cancer drug companies would say yup instead of yes. So I'm worried about your nod being misinterpreted. So we have a motion on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So let's continue to 11:30. Let's reopen the request for amendment to the order of conditions, DEP file number 100-0274. With the applicant's permission, I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to 11:30.
C.
Wait, second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's open the request for the amendment to the order of conditions for 100-0280. And with the applicant's permission, we'll continue this public hearing to November 30th.
By all means.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ride safely, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to reopen the public hearing for DEP file number 100-0413, and with the applicant's permission, continue said public hearing to 11:30.
Of course.
So moved.
Second.
I hope you're getting all these. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, there was a yes, there was a certainly.
There was a yes, there was a C.
C, certainly, and then of course, okay.
No, by all means, the
By
third
all
one was by
means,
all
yeah.
means.
All means.
I'd like to reopen the public hearing for DEP file number 100-0414. With the applicant's permission, we'll continue that public hearing to 11:30.
Wait.
So moved.
Second.
For our non-multilingual viewers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is educational programming, isn't it?
Right.
Never feels like it. Okay. For deliberation, let's open the public meeting for the RDA for lot 138B, Pingree Hill.
(138B).
So clearly we walked to this site,
Yes, that was the second to last lot that we walked last Saturday,
okay?
and I do not believe that we had any further issues with this lot. I didn't have anything noted.
The only thing that I remember was, we did talk about because the grading behind the property seemed rather flat, and we were concerned that it would be very simple for the applicant to continue their backyard. And I think we had some discussions. Your dotted line is the limit of work.
Would work, right, and
And
it's
I-
63 feet from the wetland at the nearest point.
Right. Again, I think our biggest concern was just without a sign or anything there, it would be very easy for someone to just keep moving that back. Just simply because there's no natural bound, there's no reason to say stop. And in fact, from that area, you can't even see, if you don't see the wetland flags, you don't know there's a wetland back there.
Mhm.
So I think part of our concern was to at least implement a sign protocol.
Mm. Well, I was in favor of that.
We had also
Yeah.
talked about, this I think sparked our discussion of taking particular neighborhoods and writing focus letters like your property is in a particularly environmentally important area, blah, blah, blah. You have a unique resource.
Right.
You should know that.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. I don't know that we would put that in the RDA. I'm not sure, although I'm not sure if we don't, that it doesn't make sense. I'm not sure it doesn't make sense to. I'm wondering if those are more of a mailing after the fact.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right.
Or with the closing.
Well, what I mean is that I'm not prepared to make sure that that ends up in the closing documentation, and I don't honestly think we have the ability to force that anyway.
Yeah, you were discussing global policy for
Right.
the town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were talking about targeting neighborhoods that,
Right. For instance, per our discussion that day, almost every house in that area is either in an area or adjacent to an area, even the ones that are non-jurisdictional adjacent to an area. And so it would be helpful to do a mailing to all those people, but it's not a condition of the RDA. Okay, so I think where we left off was we found that work in the area made sense, that we were looking for signs to be staked on the edge of the limit of work to allow homeowner to understand where the limit of work was. Do we have any other comments or questions?
Did we discuss rocks? Placing a couple rocks along the limit of,
no, not in this one.
Not in this one.
not in this one?
I don't think we did, and only because it's a very long limit of work over back there.
You know, just wondering if you did pull up rocks, could a couple just, it doesn't have to be,
Rocks every 10 feet, but just a few rocks to kind of demarcate,
Well, I think the idea was that
the back.
it's a pretty long way, so as you can tell, we're just barely in the 100-foot buffer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the idea was to just put the signs up to establish so that the folks would know what
Yeah.
they were getting into.
yeah.
They would have to do significant change to get way back in. I think we've only utilized the rocks when we're in a spot where we're right on a tricky edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had noted a lot of trees on this lot beyond the limit of clearing were leaning
We're leaning.
forward where the
yeah.
house would be.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll most likely end up being some trimming beyond, so. I guess in this particular case, please note it, maybe we'll put that as a special condition that when the applicant starts tree clearing, if they find that they're going to have to go beyond the established limit of work in order to take down trees that are otherwise going to endanger the new house, that we'd at least like to be just notified and the trees marked prior to cutting. It would be a small number that can be done by hand after, but after they've cleared out to the limit of work, there's definitely going to be, based on what we saw, there's definitely going to be 4 or 5 trees that are leaning into the lot that are beyond the limit of work that we'd rather just look at before they got cut. So, plus this was that weird couple tree, right? Two
Yeah,
different trees
Oh,
growing
yeah.
Yeah.
right next to each other.
Actually, hey, if I had kids, I'd love to have a tree like that in my backyard.
Right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Put a swing on.
Right up until the part that one of those trees is sort of
Right.
leaning toward one of the houses. But yes.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point, I would accept a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability with the conditions that the applicant place signs, let's say 4 signs on trees at the edge of the limit of work.
But not any of the leaning trees.
Well, exactly. Any at the edge of the limit of work, and that the applicant notify the conservation administrator if there are trees just beyond the limit of work that they would like to remove, those trees should be marked and so that the administrator can take a peek prior to cutting. Does all that make sense to you, sir?
If you would like to write that on this line, we can sign this thing.
All right, Jess, tell me what I wrote.
Place 4 signs on trees at the edge of the limit of work.
Boy, it's weird not to type.
Something else kids are gonna forget how to do.
Yeah.
Just using a.
Well, they can't write cursive.
Oh, and they don't even teach it anymore.
No one should. Should only write in block letters. Everyone should write like an engineer.
But they should be able to read historic documents like
That's
the
the-
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, I think so.
For instance.
Conservation administrator.
All right, so
So the
any
little.
trees beyond limit of work.
Just beyond the limit of work.
Well, if I say any trees beyond limit of work,
Okay.
so I'm abbreviating that LOW.
Need to be.
As opposed to liquor on wheels, it's limit of work. Any trees beyond limit of work,
You want
To be marked.
specify a distance beyond limit of work?
nope, just anything beyond limit of work. That makes it nice and easy.
Yep.
Any trees beyond the limit of work to be marked and reviewed
Prior to cutting.
by CA
Because I really want to see the feller buncher working.
prior to cutting.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the motion I'd accept. Did you make it?
Yes.
Did you second it?
I second it.
Wonderful. All right. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right. So at this point, that public meeting is closed. Thank you, Mr. Mulaney.
Thank you.
Let's reopen our RDA public meeting for Lot 143 Pingree Hill.
This
Show
lot-
us which one this one was.
Is the first lot that we visited on the
Ah,
sidewalk
yes.
last Saturday. And on this lot, at the opening session of the hearing and on the sidewalk, there was a request for there to be a limitation on the fill slope to the rear, which is the area in the buffer zone, that the slope be allowed to naturalize after seeding and that there be no mowing. So to that effect, we have amended the plan with a notation stating that. And I emailed it to Joanne earlier this week, and I have copies for all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
So if you look in the grading plan section on the right side, and you see a leader line arrow just below that green colored area with the note that says 3-to-1 fill slope in buffer zone to naturalize after seeding, no mowing.
Now, did we talk about doing something at the top?
That is on the next lot. The
Okay.
next lot is the one where we talked about moving the boulders to the top of the slope.
We did talk about posts for a no mow zone. Yeah.
Which you've done as conditions, it's not something we've shown on the plan.
No,
So
that's
the
fine, that's
posts-
fine. Okay. Are we all in agreement that this site, that the best thing to have happen to this is it gets cleared for the grading, but then it naturalizes after? Any concerns or questions about that?
No.
It also becomes a fantastic sledding hill.
Mm-hmm.
So just a, where was the original limit of clearing for this lot? Because it's all pretty much cleared, right? When we went out there, it's just a big soil pile right now.
Right, the original clearing for the lot grading was over here, but there's a stormwater basin back here that was cleared.
Right,
Going back through here.
all of this area is cleared.
And through here?
Yeah, it was all cleared.
Oh, no, I think everything's cleared right down
Yeah, I
to
think
the...
they cleared everything, yeah.
So why did they do that?
I do not know.
Because all of this should have remained treed.
Oh, there are still some trees here.
Yeah,
When
there's
we
a
were-
few,
yeah,
there's a
in
few,
this-
but
this
not,
area, so
but
that-
not a lot.
But
So-
but that's the only area that was staying vegetated because it was clearing again over here
Yeah.
for the swale coming down into that basin.
I know, I just, because I was confused, because I remember standing up here and I remember seeing the wetland flags, and they were right at the tree, and there was nothing, there's nothing in here.
No,
It was all
yeah,
clear.
they had already cleared back here.
I'm just concerned about that, because it seems like they're clearing a lot more than they should be.
Well, so let's talk about that. So they definitely over-cleared, right? In fact, one could even make the argument that this would be an NOI if someone had said to us, you were gonna clear cut the entire lot prior to coming in,
I would say
right
that
down to the edge of the
that the
wetlands.
clearing that was done there was done in conjunction with this, so it would be a modification of their order of conditions for the infrastructure.
I agree that the clearing that happened on their roadway, but all the clearing between that roadway and all the way across the plan, that doesn't make a lot
What,
of sense to
over
me.
here?
All of it.
They have not initiated any lot clearing yet for the project at all. So all of the clearing to date has been associated with the infrastructure. So that's why I would say
I'm
that.
not trying to
that-
quibble
I would
over the
say
point
that
of it.
it's an action undertaken under the order of conditions. So it's not that this lot necessitates a notice of intent, it's that action under the existing order of conditions needs to be addressed with the contractor through the conservation administrator, I would presume.
Mhm.
Or through Desheng Wang, the inspector who's providing the reports to the commission.
Mhm.
Well, it's true, you're right. It wouldn't be an NOI, it'd be an enforcement order. Well, let's do that next. What lot was this one again?
That's the
143A?
easement on 143A.
So we're supposed to be getting reports from Desheng?
Are you not getting them anymore?
Periodically.
He does not copy me, so I don't know the
Yeah.
frequency that he
hasn't been
sends them.
getting them lately, I don't think. Well,
Not since I started.
yeah,
It's weird, because he used to send them all the time.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Certainly, we have Desheng's information.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so to Mr. Mulaney's point, the work that was done on the lot was done inappropriately under another work. So therefore, we'll address it in a different way. As far as this RDA is concerned, we have additional grading to be done down the hill, which was going to be left naturalized and seeded. And we had talked about posts with signs at the top to make sure that folks knew that that's where the mowing stopped. Do we have any other questions there? Ms. Tillotson?
No.
I would accept a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability for the RDA for 273 Woodland Way, Lot 143A, with the condition added. Might as well just hand it to me. With the condition added that posts be placed with signs at the top of the hill to that. Do we want to use the standard template? They don't say no mowing or anything like that.
Well,
Well, do we feel comfortable if the standard template is up at the top? It doesn't actually say to somebody, don't mow past here. Any thoughts?
George?
Isn't that what it says over on that last place we stopped by,
Right.
in that detention basin? So if it works there, it should work here.
Fair enough. Just making sure that we,
We should be consistent.
there you go. So, posts with signs Is it clear enough if I say post with signs?
Yes.
Post with signs to be placed at the top of the slope, elevation 310. Elevation 310 and graded slope to naturalize. I'm going to say without homeowner interference. Assistance being something else. So I would accept a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that closes the public meeting for 273 Woodland Way. Let's reopen our public hearing. DEP file number 100-0416, 219 Woodland Way.
This is lot 75A, which is at the very northern end of the site. This is down the driveway near or opposite the wetland application area. And at the opening session of the hearing, the commission requested that inquiry be made with the applicant on whether they would like to include as part of the order right now the placement of trees or shrubs between the fence area that's surrounding the stormwater basin and the backyard of the site. So to that end, I have consulted with the applicant, and we have a revised plan, which I emailed to Joanne earlier this week.
So this is one that you did print for, you did print these out for us,
Yeah.
8.5 by
Yeah,
11.
they're little. This is much better. Thank you for bringing these.
And it shows a proposed Rosa rugosa hedgerow, 3 feet on center, which is consistent with the types of hedgerows positioned around basins elsewhere in this section of the subdivision.
So, in other places, the Rosa rugosa has been where there's not necessarily a fence behind it.
In some cases, the planning board required it with the fence, in some cases, just the Rosa rugosa.
Okay.
So help me understand if am I looking at this right? So I can't tell if it's a 4-bay, but I don't think it is. It looks like it's a flat spot. It says 270, but then in that same area it says 748, 192, and 558. Am I imagining those numbers?
Where?
Right,
Where are you?
right here on this flat spot. There's a flat spot right where the entrance turns just before it becomes a
That's another
driveway.
basin. That is another basin. If you look on the left, and you don't have the legend sheet here, but that's showing the outline of the basin over here, and
Yep.
there is an overflow weir discharge from this basin into this basin.
Okay.
This basin is collecting the sheet flow runoff from the driveway.
Okay. Okay, so as I'm looking at it, and I promise I'm not being difficult, as I'm looking at it, it says 270, but it also says 748, 192,
Yes,
and
and if you also
558.
have the legend sheet with you, it would indicate that what 748 and 192 are indicating are the square foot areas of each of those contours. So that the contractor has a guide for constructing the appropriate volume for the basin.
Gotcha. Okay. Just trying to figure out what they meant.
Square foot,
Okay.
square foot what of the
The
basin?
square foot area of the contour elevation.
Okay. So the bottom of that is at, according to this other box, 269.88. Okay.
So for example, the 269 contour has an elevation of has an area of 192 square feet.
Got it. and then it runs out through that stoned area
Correct.
at a slightly higher elevation, 269.88.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. So water comes down the driveway, hits that, because I remember us standing there saying that's what was going to be there.
Yes.
Okay. Then we enter the property. And as we discussed, the boulders are between the front yard, if you will, of the house and the treed area
Right.
that was in front. And there were quite a few trees between that and the wetland area.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the only unfortunate thing I think is we noticed was most of the trees in there weren't very big, they're pretty small. So,
Yeah, it's only a couple big ones.
right.
The other thing is, I noticed that that wetland area really isn't acting as a wetland area anymore. So that's unfortunate.
What do you mean?
It was an unusual wetland from
In the
from the beginning because
I know, yeah.
it's coming down the hill and
Yeah, I
it
know.
just abruptly stops.
I know.
And it apparently, naturally, it must have found at some point in time, there was a
Drain
drain.
somewhere.
Yeah, maybe there was an old root system that it found its way through and the
Yeah.
the water percolates right through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a nice little wooded area, but it's not acting as a wetland.
Well, if you were those people, you'd certainly want it to be there.
I would, yeah, definitely, yeah. You know, I'm curious, like, in terms of the 4-bay area, you know, the replication area is right directly to the left of that. You know, why not just sort of open it up and, you know, kind of create a larger wetland area? Because I mean, the water's gonna run in
Well,
there.
this is already
I know,
under the order of
Yeah,
conditions.
I know,
It's-
I know.
And it's part of the contractor's contract for construction, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, my concern, you know, I'm gonna bring it up right now because, you know, this whole area is kind of messed up in my mind. And, you know, the wetland areas just aren't acting as wetland areas anymore. And limit of clearing goes right to the flagging. There's no buffer, to protect those wetland areas.
But again, you're referring to areas that are covered under the
I know.
infrastructure order, so.
I know. I know.
I know, this is all really unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
Steve, what, and everybody else probably already knows the answer to this question, what's gonna feed water into that replication area? What's gonna support that as a new?
Into the replication area.
Yeah.
It's basically the side slopes areas through this entire area here.
Okay,
So it's the berms that are built up over here,
yep. That's all.
draining
just
down
gonna
into
go-
it and
okay.
draining down over here.
Okay.
I'm not actually worried about the replication area over there.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm more worried that, so there is a culvert pipe that feeds the wetland, little spot of wetland that's in front of our house here. I guess what I'm more worried about is that what happens if those people there start to have water problems? Because it collects there and it literally comes down 6 feet to where they're.
But keep in mind also, as you're looking at this plan, that wetland area discharges into an open throat catch basin,
Mhm.
it's labeled OTC right here, which then discharges into the stormwater basin.
Mhm.
So it's directing the flow away from the house.
I'm hopeful. I'm just worried if they start to have an issue, what do they do?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because it is just all down slope to the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so on this site, we have the limit of clearing marked out around the project. Obviously, as we discussed, all of this is cleared already. The boulders are 10 feet on center, and that's to keep the yard from encroaching toward the wetland area and taking any more of the buffer. And we've actually got a natural barrier because it goes uphill from there, from 273 to 280 to get to where the top of the slope is. So it's unlikely to go that direction, the Rosa Rugosa will hopefully prevent the homeowner from headed toward the fence and the basin behind.
Mhm.
Steve, where does the roof drain on this one?
The roof drains are, if you look on the left side of this plan,
Mm-hmm.
it's, they are roof drainage infiltration structures.
Oh, okay, I see.
One in each
Yep.
yard, one for the rear
Okay.
yard, one for the front yard.
So when we say structures, are they an actual structure, or is it a stone
It's
trench?
a stone trench with a pipe system, very similar to a septic trench.
I just recently saw somebody had buried a bunch of those, the orange covers. So it sits in stone, and they just bury them down in the ground. So instead of being a stone trough with a pipe in it,
I can show you a detail of it.
they're significantly bigger.
Right here, roof drainage drywall.
Okay.
So the downspout will
Yep.
just discharge right into the stone
Yep.
trench there.
All right.
Okay.
So my notes on the plan here call for posts and signs sprinkled in among the boulders.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know that there's any need to on the Rosa Rugosa side, because there's nowhere to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, just in the front.
Right. Okay. You've got the Rosa Rugosa at 3 foot in center. How big do those usually grow? Is that has that worked in other basins?
It has worked in other basements.
Okay.
Very thorny, they intertwine with one another, so it really forms a barrier that even kids don't want to try to go through it.
We're worried about adults. Okay.
You got the Rosa Rugosa sort of clipping the corner of the driveway turn around.
Just around the back corner.
Yeah, it's just gonna, I don't want to drive this lawnmower around the,
Yeah.
Oh, I know, and that's where the snow's going to get plowed too, is right into those
Oh, yeah.
shrubs.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Mm.
does it make sense to move them back a couple feet so that they're closer to the fence line and he has room to ride his lawnmower around the driveway?
Pile snow.
So by the drive to left.
Oh, so let's think about it. So that road, this road is part access road, part his driveway, part their driveway? excuse me?
Yes,
Okay. Who's responsible for that?
that is the responsibility of the homeowners association.
Okay.
all the way in, or just up to,
Just up to the basin, so the area you see colored is the homeowner's responsibility.
Are there many more roads like this that are responsibility? Oh boy.
No, this is the only joint.
Okay. So if you were plowing this, you can imagine that the snow is going to end up in our little forebay there, for sure. Because that's where we're going to have to push it. Are there any, I see round dots. Are these for poles or posts along the driveway?
Round.
So, see how we've got this hatched area? Comes around here, and then there are a bunch of little round circles. Right here, it looks like almost guardrail or posts.
Oh, those are that's guardrail coming around the corner there.
Okay. Is there any reason to not continue the guardrail around so that it goes around that corner?
It could be continued, but there was not a safety reason for it at that point because the grade drop wasn't that dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guardrail would keep the snow out of that.
Well, what is the hatched condition, Steve?
That's retaining wall.
And is that level with the asphalt, or is it higher?
It's just a little bit higher for protection.
Okay.
So where exactly are we concerned about snow being plowed in back over here?
Yep. Go to your other side, and see. No, go down. Go to the left. Wait. So come up the driveway. Stop. Go to your left. Right there. See that little bay?
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
I'm just assuming that the forebay, although it's not very deep, I'm assuming that area ends up being where the snow gets piled, because, boy, that's a lot of driveway. And he's not gonna be able to push the snow off the driveway because it's built up on both sides.
But again, this is an area that's already authorized under the infrastructure order.
Oh, yeah, no, we're just trying to figure out where it's going to end up because of the house. All right, I mean, I guess the only thing we can do is wait for him to plow all the snow in there and send him an enforcement order. Okay. So we've got Rosa Rugosa, we've got the stones. I think those were the only conditions that we can
And the
do now.
posts.
We need some posts
And you said
And
posts.
posts with signs in the rocks.
in the rocks.
All right. Anyone have any other comments? All right. Then if there's nothing further, and we've had our sidewalk, then I would accept a motion to begin work on the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0416, with the primary change just being the addition of posts and signs along the proposed boulder wall.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. So signs. Continued. I would accept the motion to continue this public hearing for 0416 to November 30th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All right.
I think this pen is showing you an actually.
Over a foam pen. Let's reopen next public hearing, 100-0417, 237 Woodland Way, lot 36A.
76?
76A. Right, sorry, it's Assessor's Map 36 below.
There are a lot of numbers to keep track of here, let me just say that.
That is the adjacent lot. And I had no comments written on this one. I don't know if Jess has anything in her notes.
There's a considerable amount of fill on this one, but not like on the others. That's what I got written.
Right, we had a lot of fill, and then, correct me if I'm wrong, the little white space that exists between the protection and the actual wetland,
Yes.
was that treed? Were there any trees in there?
Yes.
Okay. Right, we had a little chunk.
A little chunk, and the double hay bale, or double wattle barrier is already positioned in there.
And it's gonna be, that ends up being below your retaining wall.
Correct.
And what did the retaining wall say to you, 4 feet?
Yes.
So my notes call for posts at the top of the retaining wall.
Oh, yeah, mine did too. Posts and signs.
All right.
At the retaining wall.
So what is the condition of the backyard? It looks like in the backyard it just drops right down the hill.
Drops down a 3-to-1 slope, and it calls for a fence. Well, the fence is required as part of the infrastructure
Yeah.
order along the top of the floor bed.
So we're hopeful that they won't end up encroaching in the area that is supposed to hold water as needed. And we've got the retaining wall as a natural break going our direction the other way. What's that little space that doesn't have a retaining wall? To the right of the retaining wall, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, why does it stop there? Does the grading not require it?
It does not require it. It meets existing grade right here. The retaining wall is 4 feet at its maximum height over at this end, and then it tapers back till it meets natural grade right here.
Okay. So I think what I would like, just simply because I think it makes sense, is to have a couple of boulders there to the right from this orientation, to the right of the retaining wall, so that the person who lives there doesn't just go right down and clear below the retaining wall, so that they don't continue that, because if they can get their
So
ride...
Joanne can write that in a condition.
Yep, they could continue their ride at mower down there. Okay. So,
So should those come all the way up the lot line, those boulders? Instead of just a couple at the end of the retaining wall? Because, so, here's the lot line. Here's the end of the retaining wall.
Retaining wall goes just about to the lot line.
Yep. And so should the boulders continue?
well, so we've got a significant drop from up here down, right?
Mhm.
And this is relatively, I guess my only concern was that they just come down, right down this hill.
Right.
But what you're saying is this is,
It's not their property.
That doesn't really stop people.
I'm
as
I'm
we
not
saw
disagreeing with
on
you.
Holly.
I'm not disagreeing with
The
you.
Yeah.
lines right here.
So if these just,
Whose property is that, Steve? That's up
Lot
above?
75A.
That's lot 75A.
yeah. This is gonna be sort of no man's land
Mm.
over here, I suspect. They have plenty of boulders.
Are there, so I don't remember seeing on other properties, are there concrete bounds or anything to help these folks know where the ends are? Is it just the wooden stakes when the project is?
It depends on the homeowner and on the street lot corners.
See another one.
There are concrete bounds being placed if it happens to be coincidental with a curve in the road, for example. In terms of individual lot corners unassociated with the roadway, it's up to the individual property owner to have that installed if they want them. Wasn't a requirement of the planning board.
I'm just trying to think. So I'm thinking from a positive direction. How do we help the homeowner understand where their property ends? Because unfortunately, as you know, most homeowners, if it looks like it's my home, if it looks like it's my yard to mow, or even worse, boy, that looks messy, I'm gonna go clean that up. And we understand completely where you're coming from. We're not trying to burden the applicant, but it seems like a couple of boulders there might help to make sure that the homeowner doesn't travel past where they're supposed to. Does that seem burdensome to put boulders there?
You're free to condition to put boulders on this lot, but not on lot 75A because it's not part of the application.
Right.
Right.
I think it would help this little finger in here that needs all the help it can get. Yeah.
Well, you could, put them right to the left of the property line.
So where's our driveway again? Straight in front, right? No, oh
Oh,
no, this
oh,
one.
this one?
Straight in front, right?
Yeah, it's outside the
Yeah,
buffer.
right there.
except for
No,
one lot.
right. I was just trying to figure out if it was over here, right? It's not coming in like this. It's straight in the middle of the
Yep,
front
a
yard.
little turnaround.
Okay. Then it seems to make sense to mark that off so that they don't end up just continuing over on the other side.
Mm.
Okay. So this is, I shouldn't have moved this chair. So this is lot 76A. From our site walk, we had talked about additional protections at the top. So for our discussion, one of the conditions we would be thinking about here, one of the conditions that we would add would be to use boulders from the top of the retaining wall out to the street on this property to further mark the area. And we had talked about signs with posts
At the top of the retaining wall.
at the top of the retaining wall. Did anyone have any other thoughts or questions? Actually, is there?
So posts with signs at the top of the retaining wall.
You just have one,
So, hold on
Okay,
a second, I'm
yeah.
sorry. So Steve, we've got some real grade here. They've got, you're showing the hay bales over here. Are you guys doing anything on the top of the slope?
let me see what you're talking about.
Sure. Are you guys doing anything on the top of the slope here to keep the yard from ending up down in the forebay?
In terms of additional erosion controls?
Yeah, just any kind of
It's
controls.
all part of the overall erosion controls. So there are written instructions on the plans. We're not showing specific location on the plan.
Okay. Because I know there's stuff at the toe of that slope now that we saw when we were on site. Okay. So, signs, folders, as discussed. Any further discussion on this site?
Just one question, the retain, so with, like you guys just discussed erosion, just water sort of, because what we saw last week with respect to the sheet, the water sheeting downhill, right? Will water be able to get through that retaining wall?
Yes, retaining walls are typically constructed with weed poles in them so
Weed poles, yeah.
that there won't be standing water held on the other
Yeah, on the other side, right?
And remember the one that we just saw over at Jonathan Drive?
Yep.
Typically also put stone behind it with
Yeah.
a pipe there.
Yeah, to kind
So
of
that you
drain
direct
it
the water because
away.
well, the other problem is that if water were to continually seep through,
Mm-hmm. It's gonna push it
it'll
kind
go
of,
away.
yeah, it's gonna
It's
disappear.
less of a retaining wall,
Right, yeah,
more of a pile.
right, okay. Yep.
Okay. So we have additional conditions that we discussed for 76A. There's nothing further. I would accept a motion to begin work on the order of conditions for lot 76A, DEP file number 100-0417.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Here's a construction detail.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to 11:30.
So moved.
Second. Sorry.
Continuing to 11:30.
Continue. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next lot. Let's reopen our public hearing for DEP file number 100-0419, lot 139B.
That is the last lot that we visited last Saturday.
Off at the top.
It's super
So-
easy.
It's a super easy one. So if anybody remembers, this is the lot where the resource is uphill of the house by a quirk of fate. And so therefore, I don't think we have any worries on this one. We have any notes on this one?
Super easy. Bonnie, how to protect the tree roots just outside the limit of clearing?
Yeah, that was what I had.
I don't think we had any other concerns about limit of work.
No.
Again, the actual resource is primarily uphill from the project.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any concerns, sir? Did you have any additional notes?
I do not.
Jess said super easy.
Yeah, grade.
In fact, the fill on here is actually to bring the grade up, right?
This is cut over here.
Oh, that's right.
Fill over
Right,
here.
Fill over there, right.
Fill.
So it directs the grade away from the resource.
This really was the easy one.
It's an actual house lot.
Yeah. And Steve, just limit of clearing, I kind of have been noticing that they're really not leaving a lot of vegetation kind of close to the road.
There's quite a bit of earthwork required to build up the road,
Yeah.
particularly along the lower portion of woodland.
Right. It just seems like, even though I know this is outside of the jurisdiction, right? Because this is the 100-foot buffer, but,
Yeah, these lots are still wooded over here. They cleared to here,
yeah,
basically clearing the 60-foot wide right-of-way to the road.
right.
And in some cases, there are some slope easements, like over here, there's a 10-foot wide slope easement that went beyond. On this side, I believe it's a 20 or 25-foot slope easement that went beyond, so.
Yeah, okay.
So we have to keep checking. Yes, and learning lessons along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would entertain a motion, if we have no other comments, to begin work on the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0419.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing until 11:30.
So moved.
Oh, second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
I
I already have it written down.
just keep nudging me. Nudging me.
She's like a puppet now. Camera. Okay, let's reopen our public hearing for DEP file number 100-0418, lot 142A. Here we go.
Lot 142A is across the street from the lot we were just looking at. And this was a lot in which the commission requested at the previous hearing session to move the boulder row from the bottom of the slope to the top of the slope, and to require that the slope below the boulder row be allowed to naturalize. So to that effect, we have a revised plan to circulate.
So, okay. And I think this was one of the ones that when we were on site that made the most sense. Because it's just such a large area, helping them understand not to continue. The other one it makes sense. You can imagine them leaving it alone, letting it naturalize down the hill. This one, it just looks like the continuation of the yard all the way down. So it seems smart to do the row of boulders and signs at the top. All right. So based on our walk and the fact that we did make the change for the boulders and signs, do we have any other comments on this one?
So no vegetation being planted anywhere?
Well, it will all be seeded, but in terms of,
Roots is like, it's all seed grass.
and then just be allowed to naturalize beyond the boulders, maintained as lawn between the house and the boulders.
You'll be amazed at how fast it grows back.
Yeah. Where was the second outfall pipe? I remember seeing two of them. I know one's here.
One is here, one is here. There's one right here.
I thought this was the one.
There's not one between those two.
So this was the one that we
Yep,
saw?
we saw
When
this
we were
one,
standing
the first lot that we
here?
viewed over here. We saw the one coming out over here, and then we saw the second one over here.
Yeah, we were way down.
Oh,
Yep.
man. Okay. I
You may
this
not-
is- yeah, okay.
Remember that back basin area is huge.
I know. It's a huge wetland right now. It's holding a lot of water.
It certainly is.
Holding a lot of water.
Okay.
All right.
So while we were on site, we identified the issue. We moved the boulders up from down the bottom. We moved them up to the top of the slope so that the area could naturalize. Are there any further questions or comments on this application before us today?
We just need to put some signposts between those boulders.
So add signs and accept the changes that are made here on 2D68 on 1011. Wait, was it really 1011 when we did the walk?
No, it was 11 when we did the walk.
Notice the engineer didn't put his initials next to that.
Call it version 5.
Okay. So, based on our discussions on the site and a review of the page that we have before us, I would accept a motion to begin work on the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0418.
Second.
Again, as noted, friendly amendment, just as noted to add the signs to the boulders. Do you accept my friendly amendment?
Sure, this was friendly.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I would also accept the motion to continue this public hearing to November 30th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up, certificate of compliance for 97 Holly Ridge Road, lot number 29. Did we go to this one the other day?
Yeah, we went to go.
I'm trying to remember which one was,
We spoke with the homeowner.
Oh, so 29 and 30, so
29,
29 is the
30.
homeowner?
No, 29, 30 we spoke with the homeowner. 29 was Mrs. Moore's house. She was not home. We knocked and there was no one home.
Right.
So 113 is the blue house with the homeowner.
Right.
Right.
Which is about 30.
Okay. So I think our biggest issue at 97 was it appears that it's unfortunate that Crabtree Development is the applicant here because the house was built by another company.
Yes, the Crabtree sold the property to Annette Moore and Annette's son CJ developed the lot.
So our only question was, obviously they made major changes. So the only question in my mind was, do we bring them back in to amend the order of conditions? The work is already completed. Obviously, they've also had to put in a curtain drain. It seems like the right thing to bring them in to discuss what's happened and what future things they may need to do. It sounds like the water problems aren't finished based on the nice lady and man next door.
Do you know if that road has been accepted?
It
by
has
the
not.
town yet?
I don't think the water off the sidewalk was the problem. We stood there at the sidewalk. It does this.
I know.
It's coming up probably the hill,
Yeah.
up from top.
And
Sheeting,
from
yeah.
multiple directions. I don't think there's any fixing it. I don't.
No, I don't think there's any
I
fixing.
think part of the question would be to ask her, have they cleared up the water problem in the basement?
Mm-hmm.
With the idea that if they want to do something else, you really need to talk to them because they did an awful lot of work back there that was all completely inappropriate.
There's also some, the roof drain goes into the ground, but doesn't appear to come out of the ground anywhere. And at the base of that retaining wall, there was another white pipe, mystery pipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So probably the right thing for us to do is to say, thank you, Steve. We do have your certificate of compliance request. I think we're going to pursue this one with the homeowner to get, have them fix the order of conditions.
So we appreciate that. There was debate amongst the Crabtree partners as to whether they were responsible for pursuing this particular certificate. The issue had come up on some other lots previously with a previous agent that responsibility always stayed with the original applicant, even if the property turned over once, twice, or multiple times. And the Crabtree was told that you are to monitor the real estate sales to make sure that you always know who the property owner is up until such time as the certificate is issued. So that's why Crabtree took the initiative on this lot to say, we want to get out of this. We want to disclose what we observe has occurred and let the commission take it from there.
Well, I think at this point, as long as the neighborhoods are still under construction, it sort of makes sense. I'm not saying it passes the red phase test, but in this particular case, we appreciate that you brought it to us. The commission takes this on now. We are not issuing a certificate of compliance at this time. We're going to work backwards with the landlord, who we will serve notice to, that they need to come meet with us.
Crabtree views is very similar situation to the Lily Wilson lot on Deer Run. So from Crabtree's perspective, they have done what they were supposed to do in terms of identify what was constructed,
Right.
identify what was and was not in compliance with the plan, submit the paperwork to the commission, and let the commission do the enforcement from there.
No, I think we're in the right direction, so
So how do you want that to proceed? Is it violation notice, enforcement order?
Well, I think we have to start with an enforcement order to notify the applicant that we have been by the property and that the work that occurred on the property was beyond the limits of what was approved under the order of conditions,
Okay.
and that they need to come meet with us so we can talk about how they're going to request an amendment. Because right now we have an order of conditions for a property that doesn't match up with the work completed.
Wouldn't that be a violation notice? Just a letter, basically telling, come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we learned, isn't it, George?
Yes.
You start with a friendly
Friendly.
letter saying, we've noticed this and would like to help you resolve it.
I was told afterwards that it was really funny that the little old lady next door told me to go. So
Yeah, funny. She wanted to get back to work.
we're going to call it friendly, that's fine. We were just trying to help her. Okay, so
So violation.
violation notice. Excellent. Okay. Moving on. We have a request for a certificate of compliance for 113 Holly Ridge Road, DEP found 100-0376. We visited the site, found that everything had grown in wonderfully, that the fire pit looked great, and the homeowner was very conscious of what was happening behind his house. And as he mentioned, more than conscious about what had happened behind his house.
And the only thing that he did that was not on the plan is he added a row of boulders where one had not been requested.
Was his patio on the plan, original plan? I wasn't worried about it because it was at grade and it wasn't
It's outside the buffer.
impervious.
It's outside the buffer.
Yeah. Okay. I would accept a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DEP file number 100-0376.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Are those Crabtree boulders or are they imported?
They're local Crabtree boulders.
Thank you. All in favor?
Angry boulders.
Pingree boulders. Yeah, not from the other side of town. They're Pingree boulders.
That's what they say, stone local. Fire local.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I.
I believe we just had that on election night, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Stone local. Marijuana shop.
That's 2 weeks.
We still have to vote.
I know, it's old news.
Vote for what?
It was this
We did
Tuesday.
No. It's a town official. it's a
Oh,
vote. No, we have a
It's
special.
two
special.
steps.
Oh, right,
election.
right.
It's a two-step thing.
Two-step.
Process, yeah.
Okay. So for the purpose of my notes, I'm putting the issue the COC for this property. Excellent. Okay. Not for nothing, did this particular property, did this person sign that letter from the purchase and sale?
I believe so.
The affidavit?
Yeah.
The affidavit, it seems like he'd be the person who would.
Yeah, I can check on
Only because we have his attention and it seemed like a nice fellow. Okay. Did you have anything else tonight?
that. That is it.
Okay. We will see you on November 30th for what look like some quick signs and some... That everyone will bring 2 pens.
Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. Okay.
9:05. Hideous.
So actually, hold on. So just because Steve is here and just so that we can deal with it afterwards and so that he's aware of it, we do need to, Steve made a very good point, not to throw you under the bus in any way, shape, or form. Steve made a very good point that all that clearing that happened under the other order of conditions. And we really need to have Duchesne come down there and talk to us
Yeah.
about how it's cleared
No,
much
the-
more than we would have thought.
The friendly violation.
Yes.
It doesn't feel that way.
So we want him for the
Yeah, those
11:30
oxymorons.
No, what I want is, what I really want is I
Yeah.
want Deshang to meet up with Joanne and walk back there.
Yep.
As part of a typical inspection, at which point he can also tell her where he is with his updates.
Yeah. The invisible updates.
I'm always amazed at the number of people say, "Oh, that was in my outbox."
Yeah, we usually, aren't we also, we're supposed to get reports from the developer about planned construction in the future too.
That's Desheng, he's
Yeah.
got that
Okay.
Yeah.
entire responsibility.
And he had the whole thing
That's
wrapped up.
loaded on his shoulders, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys are still building.
Yes.
Huh, well, then we should probably get those notices.
Yeah.
So we'll just remind him on Tuesday we're back to work.
Monday.
Monday.
Still doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Monday at noon.
Maybe you should make a regular appearance
To make up for
at our
this
meetings.
meeting
Oh, right.
and the extra hour and a half it took me to get ready for this meeting.
Run. Thank you.
Run now.
Thank you for your time this evening. See you on the 30th.
Okay. So we have the conservation updates.
Yes.
So maybe we should just go down. This is wonderful. So, yep, Pingree Hill, we did do a bunch of walks. And really importantly, we need to get to Shanghai involved.
Yes.
So that's huge.
We talked about Pingree Hill at the land use team meeting today, and I happened to mention the open manholes, and Alan, the economic development guy, was really upset about that. He said, somebody could get killed up there. And I have a feeling he was thinking of himself as the 10-year-old boy running amok on a construction site.
Well,
After
actually,
dark.
the sad part about it is that those only represent a small portion of the things that could kill you
Oh.
up there.
Yeah.
However,
yeah.
they're the man-made portion of the things that could kill you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I wish you had called the police. I thought, oh, yeah, I suppose we could have called the police.
Well, it might have been necessary if there was no one on site, but we were able to notify the guys who placed that stuff, so
Yeah,
I
but,
felt comfortable.
and ultimately, it's not our responsibility, but,
No, in fact, if anything, if any of us had fallen in, it's the town's responsibility that we fell in.
yeah.
Not that that makes me feel good. But
No, and the problem, those were so deep that you could, if I fell in, I couldn't have gotten out of there
no,
by
but you'd have been
myself.
treading water for as long as you could tread water.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not a pleasant view.
No.
With
No.
your cell phone in your back pocket in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yelling.
Help, help, echo, 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 echo.
Yeah, you'd actually probably stop because it'd be so loud and annoying.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Yep.
So, Nashua Street Extension.
Yep.
How are things going down there?
Well, it looked pretty good. They, the guys were waiting for National Grid to come so they could cover up the gigantic plastic conduit for the electricity, the underground
Really?
electrical service. Had to be inspected by National Grid before
Mm.
they could fill the trench.
Was it going to National Grid's transformer?
I don't know.
That's the only reason National Grid would care.
Yeah. It was coming out of a transformer. And I don't know. That's what the guy said.
Huh.
So they were sitting having donuts and coffee and didn't offer me a donut.
Actually, they were going to do that anyway.
I know. I know.
Okay. So, otherwise-
But they had put in a second row of controls above our controls, which has turned out to be a good thing on multiple occasions. And
Good.
they had both silted up a little bit with this last storm event, and they had cleaned them out. It looks
So credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
They are. Looks very good over there.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Pleasant Street.
I didn't go over there because we had just been there, and I didn't really see.
Are you able to hit most of these in the week? I mean, is it?
I can hit most of them in a day unless the train is parked on the train tracks, which is what prevented me from getting to the Willows on Wednesday. I had waited 15 minutes and thought, I got stuff to do. This was the 15 minutes
I know.
I had to go there, and now it's done. So,
Yeah.
and I'll get back to Kohler Place in a sec, but I did see, I think his name is Dave, the site superintendent from the Willows, in Charlie's office today,
Oh,
and asked him about that second pile of what I think is dirty fill.
and he said,
He said, "Oh, I don't know, but I'll find out and get back to you." And Charlie says he's a very good guy and he will follow through on that.
well, that's good.
Yeah. But I
think he's the 17th or 18th site supervisor over there.
wow. Yeah.
We went through like 3 or 4 in just the first couple of
Guy,
years.
Goodfellow or something like that, there was one.
We had a lot of fun with the irony there.
Yeah.
So,
But I really, Monday, well, actually this weekend, I'll probably go over there because I really just want to see how it all held up. This Dave, did put in a second row of controls the day that the planting was going on over at the Willows, when I mentioned, wow, look at this. and he went and got something else installed, so that was good. Kohler Place, there's more stuff piling up behind the controls. In addition to the dead sod, there's now what looks like a tree that probably fell across the controls maybe, and it was cut up and he
Dumped over.
back over.
Yeah, I can show you a
Is it
picture.
lot 3?
That's disappointing.
It's number 64. It's the second house on the left.
So the farthest one in on the left.
Yeah. Kind of
The one that's next to where the water pipe is going to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I talked to
We just
So-
go there. And they're gonna be the first house on the right now.
this is the dead sod that I did send AJ an email about. I never heard anything, so I'm thinking I need to write a paper letter.
Well,
Have we seen him around? Does he still live there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He drives by.
So this is all
So-
now.
That's a
behind
fair
me.
question.
Oh,
Yeah. What you might want to do is in the next letter say, look, the next
Thank
letter
you.
will be the enforcement order or something.
Yeah,
That's very disappointing.
Yeah.
He knows better than that.
yeah, it's a mess. It's just a mess. And I talked to
You're not going to want to.
DPW Mark about the directional boring, and I had just come back from Kohler Place, and he said, "Oh, they're over at Kohler Place today placing the hay bales." I said, "No, they're not." I literally just came back here from there, and he said, "Oh, so they're getting ready to start that anyway."
That's fantastic.
Yes, that'll be interesting.
You were going to show us that example of directional boring at the party. Go on. I'm just full of them today. Wait till we get to Alabama.
come on.
Keep it coming. Yeah, Rosewood Ave Extension. I went down there, and because they haven't finished the roadway, the material that roadway is made out of is washing in a heavy rain over the controls on next to the culvert.
That's disappointing.
Yes, and I just I took some photos and I need to get them to Mike Lottie, but I ran out of daylight. And there's a photo here of the water level at the culvert.
Is it coming up?
It is coming up.
So I'm back to my photos from December, almost a year ago. And again, like we said the other day, it had been in negative numbers, was below 0. And so I could walk everywhere, no problems. And they were probably 4 inches up above, 4 to 6 inches up above the water. I can't imagine, based on what we've seen, that they're not at least on the very edge of being underwater again.
So, did I take this on my phone?
Well, the important thing
Anyway.
is that Mike Lottie gets a memo on Monday to go clean up his mess.
To clean up his mess. Mark knows he needs to send somebody out to see if, so that cage
Mhm.
that's upstream.
One or the other.
Yeah, up. It's just up. Those squares must be about 4 inches. Earlier this fall, 4 of them were above the level of the water. Now, 2 of them are above the level of the water. And you can see stuff hung up on the row above where when it was really pouring, there
Right.
was only one of them above the water.
Yeah.
No, we saw that the last time we saw the watermark, and it was.
Yeah. So the beavers are active downstream. You could,
Yeah.
just
and-
get a
and-
beaver deceiver in there and.
Well, so remember, there was money to do a beaver deceiver here.
Yeah.
We still had, what we find, $2,600.
Yep.
So we have money to do a beaver deceiver.
Right. And I just want to point out that we do have that regular cost now of the annual maintenance, which I think we want to.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. We may need to save money for.
Right.
Either that or we have to ask more money at a town meeting. Maybe the right thing to do here is to just confirm with Mark. I remember at one point Mark said he had money for the beaver deceiver here.
Yeah.
But
Mark Wetzel said.
Mark Wetzel
Yeah.
said.
He would very much like to know what the commission's position on is regarding trapping beavers.
Trapping and killing.
Yes.
So you trap.
Because trapping equals killing.
Well, the issue is you trap them and kill them, and more. They multiply, and they find they will repopulate within a year or two.
Mm.
So you're back to the same old problem again.
I think actually, and this will take the heat off you for a minute, I think actually we all saw an example earlier. So if you trap and kill a poor soul who's in front of us, right? It's just another poor soul will come in and take his place.
Yeah.
But if instead you confuse and deceive that poor soul, he'll keep coming back. Who knows when he'll wise up? So I feel like the right thing to do is to confuse and deceive the beavers.
Yeah, and you know what? Mark has money to buy a beaver deceiver. I'm sorry, Mark, if you're listening, but no. So the issue was to get the manhole covers down below, water level, and that was a huge issue that we discussed over and over again.
And with the idea that a beaver deceiver would be used in the future if one was needed.
To prevent this from this happening.
So to keep it in line,
Email.
what this commission discussed at nauseum, at length, was that the work that was going to happen over there was to maintain the water level so that the sewer manholes were accessible.
Right.
It was starting with the removal of the beaver dam,
Mm-hmm.
the installation of the culvert, and future work would require a beaver deceiver if necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think our first line of defense would be to install a beaver deceiver as opposed to trapping,
Mm-hmm.
simply because trapping just necessitates another beaver moving in,
Yeah.
whereas hopefully the beaver deceiver does its job. We have multiple examples around town where the beaver deceiver doing its job
Yeah.
meant that no one had to go in and trap any beavers.
Right.
And so I think
Yeah,
that was
works.
our thought process from before, and that's where we'd like to see it start.
Okay.
Right.
He also mentioned that there's a sewer manhole headed underwater at the end of Riley Jane Farm, beyond the power lines.
Okay.
He said, wow, we've walked a lot of that, but we haven't gone beyond the power lines.
No, you'd have to get wet.
Yeah.
So what was his plan for that one?
It was really more a point of information than that he had a plan. It's just, this is somewhere else he knows he's got beaver difficulties.
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, and the only one we've ever discussed down there, there's a manhole down there that Riley Jane is going to connect to.
Yeah.
So, because remember,
That must
all
be
the
the
sewer
one.
there goes downhill,
Right. Right.
and then there's a manhole down there that connects to these other manholes that we're talking about. It's all one system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the only one that I know down there.
Yeah.
So
And it's a huge wetland system.
Right, the idea that they put them in there in the
It's a
first
great place
place
to put a sewer line.
just seems silly.
Yeah,
Well,
The only thing I can say is that we were informed that one of the only ways that they could do, the way that they could continue to have the manhole structure in that area with the potential of flooding and still meet Massachusetts health and safety criteria was to weld the top shut.
Or to raise
Either raise them or
raise it or weld
weld
it
the top
shut.
shut.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, what's he doing?
well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
I don't think that anything that we do for water level on the Rosewood side would have any effect on that other side. I can't imagine it would.
I don't really know yet how it all connects.
Because doesn't the water from our side go that way? So here's Rosewood,
Mm-hmm.
here's the culvert,
Mm-hmm.
we come through, we go under the rail trail, and that's where Riley Jane Farm is,
Oh.
right?
The water's coming from Riley J. Farm.
No, other way,
No.
other way.
Off to one of the James.
No, it goes.
You're right, excuse me, you're right.
Funnels
It was
into
this way.
James Brook, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if our water level came up, that could affect this side.
Yeah.
But I think didn't we have the discussion about that culvert pipe and they said, oh yeah, no, it's clear, water's coming through it, remember? Because we said, what if part of the problem was on the other side? And they said, nope, that culvert pipe is clear. So here's Rosewood, here's Riley Jane, here's the railroad. There's a culvert pipe through here that allows this water to travel through.
Yeah, I know there's a little beaver dam in that little area. I've seen it from the rail trail.
Mm.
So I don't know how, if it's grown or gotten bigger.
All I can say is, if there's, again, Rosewood, Riley Jane, if there's something going on over here, he's trying to connect into that manhole cover
Yeah.
for Riley Jane.
Yeah.
It's part of their project.
Okay.
Because remember when we went down the hill and he said, oh, that's where this stops, and we go down here and that's where you hit the
Right.
manhole. That's where you hit the manhole.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Yep, raise those manholes.
Yeah. Well,
I
it
wonder
seems.
how much it costs. to
especially
raise
if there's only one down there. I don't know what happens after that.
Yeah. I
It's an odd place to have one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Rosewood.
Yeah. Rosewood.
Solar One, how are they doing about planting?
Oh, they're not. They're not. It's just Kyle was in this morning to see Planner Mark about Air Solar 2,
expensive.
which has been approved by the planning board, reluctantly, but approved by the planning board. And Kyle was waiting for spring when the planting would be better in his mind. And I said, well, that means that somebody's going to have to water those plants all summer long. Oh, he said, that's going to be expensive. Yeah, that's going to be expensive.
Wasn't the order of conditions to get them in now?
I think the idea was that we did the order so they could get them in.
Yeah,
But let's go back one more step. It's 2 years.
yeah,
It's 2 years.
yeah, from whenever.
What might help, what might literally help is a whiteboard up on the wall that says Air Solar One plantings in the ground
We did specify.
and, any other plantings in the ground
Yep,
and, how long, before they get checked.
yeah,
So that anyone coming in can see we're not going to lose track of
Yeah.
your failure to
Yeah.
fix your problem.
yeah. And he and I talked the most amazing conversation about how that actually got cleared up behind the panels. He said, well, nobody knew there was.
A stream down the bottom of the hill.
I said, how is that possible? Well, the commission missed it, and we missed it, and the guy cutting the tree, everybody missed it.
Who flagged the
I
area?
said, how is that possible?
The wetland scientist who flagged the area should have known better. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely should have known
Okay.
better.
So this whole week has been full of moments like this one, where at the end of the day, I do feel bad that we didn't notice it, but at the same time, I don't really feel that bad that we didn't notice it. Our job is to act on applications brought to us by other people.
That's right.
If they didn't notice that there was a stream at the bottom of the hill, I feel badly that it happened,
Mhm.
but I also don't feel any responsibility whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Okay. Planting in the spring, expensive,
Yeah. Yep.
and that doesn't even count the losses.
Exactly.
Okay. Jonathan Drive,
Jonathan Drive is looking good. Nothing washed out.
other than the rain garden.
Well, the rain garden's not planted. It didn't overtop, which means that
That's good.
it's working.
Yeah, how about that? Volume is correct.
Yep. Oh,
And
good.
she's moved in?
She's moved in. Yep.
And we just have to hope he fulfills his verbal promise to do the COC and the amendment to the order of conditions.
We do look forward to seeing her.
We
Yes, we do look forward to seeing her. Mark Wetzel also said there's a water main project scheduled to go across her land through the wetland,
oh,
under the rail trail, possibly?
Not through.
Hold on. So scheduled implies that he's already permitted it.
Well, no.
Should we say planned?
Maybe planned, yeah, maybe intended.
Oh, I like intended.
Intended, yeah.
I like
That could
intended.
Go.
No, intended makes sense. Planned is iffy.
Yeah.
Scheduled is no. That's just going through
Okay, yeah,
the realm of
yeah.
I know that words and facts are no longer important in the United States. Thank you very much. But
They are important. They will always be important.
so there's a thought process about extending a water main through that area.
However, one thing, remember you discovered, when we looked at that lot, it was 2 unbuildable lots that were made one
Yeah.
to build the house?
Except
But
that's not
That-
actually
well,
what
that
happened.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
The part to the left of the house where the wetland, where I presume they would put that, is not hers.
I think some of it is. I think I thought that her lot was tiny and the other lot was really big. But I think her lot has some size to it.
So it met, but all of that land to the left is not hers, and so.
Right.
But
But
so
Mark
let's be
was-
very clear. All the land to the left that's not hers is resource area.
It's jurisdictional.
Yeah.
Completely jurisdictional.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't understand.
So I'm not really worried about who owns it,
Oh, right.
Right.
because whoever owns it still has to come in and talk to
Right,
us.
right. And
Yeah.
Mark seemed fairly sure that his pipe was thinking about going across her land.
Is this to connect to Riley Jane?
I don't know. Could be.
So he's probably looping. He doesn't
It
want.
could just
he
be
doesn't
another
want
case
the
of
pipe-
looping, but I'm sure if you look at
Yeah,
that
he doesn't
area,
want it
right?
to-
You've got the section down here, the section down here. It's a disaster.
I know. 'cause
From
it
a
doesn't-
water pipe
I know.
situation.
I know.
I'm sure he does want it.
Because I was thinking about that. Like if you go down the hill and end at the bottom of the hill,
Well, even if all they did was directional bore, because I can tell you right now, he's not going to be able to do anything through the rail trail,
I know.
based on what we've heard.
Yeah.
So let me restate. My assumption is based on what we heard about them trying to have temporary access over the rail trail for once a year,
They're not gonna
right?
be-
Right.
He's not gonna, so there's 2 ways to do that. One is you directionally bore through the side, and the other one is you pipe jack, where you dig a hole on this side, a hole on that side, and you pound a pipe through it.
Right. Right.
So those are your only 2 options to go into the rail trail.
Right. Right.
Well, he can't pipe jack because he'd have to dig a big hole in the wetland in order to go through from our side. So you're talking directional boring from the street, under the wetland, under the rail trail, and pop up somewhere on the other side. And I'm pretty sure it's wetland on the other side too.
Probably.
Because when you go through that area down
Yeah.
there, it's wet on both sides
So-
in many different
So I'm
places.
confused. Wasn't this? Shouldn't this have been part of the plan at the beginning? With
Well, no. So hold on. So this is the
sewer,
DPW.
water. Yeah, but it's the
It's the construction,
Oh, you mean, you
If
mean,
it's part
should
of
this have been
Riley-
part of the plan for
Riley Jane.
Riley Jane?
Yeah.
This isn't a Riley Jane thing. Remember, Riley Jane is looped back through Nashua Street Extension, right? I don't think this is a idea of helping Riley Jane. I think this is a case of trying to help Jonathan Drive. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a water main here, so loop it. And I that would be my guess. I mean, I'd have to see the topography and everything else, but my guess would be this isn't, because I do think that we would have heard about it, because we did hear about the water main on Trevor Trail, remember?
Mm-hmm.
They were very upfront, they wanted to do the water main through there.
Mm-hmm.
Mark came in and talked to us about it.
Mm-hmm.
My guess this is more opportunistic, like, hey, what do you know?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a real problem over here on Jonathan Drive. We could solve it if we go through and, oh, son of a gun, they're going to have water mains at Riley Jane.
Mhm.
Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we're hearing.
Okay.
And I'm not against that. It's
No.
just, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out more.
Yeah.
Oak Ridge Drive, much to my surprise, had heavy equipment all over it, a great big hole dug in the side of the hill, gigantic boulder.
We just noticed that the other day. I said, holy smokes. I didn't, so never called you?
No. I made a very good friend of Mr. Buxton.
Yeah, he's an nice guy.
He's a very, very nice guy. We had a lot in common, as it turned out. And he said, well, you really shouldn't call Roger today because his aunt just died. I said, well, I won't call him today, but I'm going to call him pretty soon. Yeah, I was kind of surprised and dismayed, especially after the tree cutting that we weren't notified about.
If only a commissioner lived near there, we would have known better.
Well, I looked at the tree cutting. The tree cutting actually went right up to the property line, which I thought was fine.
But they didn't call to tell us that they
didn't.
were
See,
starting.
I didn't know. I thought they didn't have the erosion.
And I passed it
assumed that
last
they didn't
Saturday,
call.
and I figured they knew. I figured you knew about it. And I was
No.
like, that's weird. We haven't talked about it.
No,
It wasn't weird.
no, just,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you have a problem with what they had for their
Oh,
erosion
no,
controls or anything?
no, they're taking really good care of the erosion controls. They open them, they close them, they're not running over
Right.
them, they're just...
Cleaning the street.
Buxton's a good company.
He has been working at the Pepsi plant on their various excavation projects for 50 years.
We ran into him, so I know his son.
Mm-hmm.
His son used to do work for us, and I still have one of our sweatshirts from back then. Buxton Construction has a beaver on it. We ran into him when they were going to do the fence work, remember? Buxton was going to do the fence work and the clearing for Pepsi when they wanted to close off their property for squatters, because they had a large open property and they were trying to close it off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
And
guess
that's when we learned that, you know how high a deer can jump?
really high.
10 feet. So
Yeah.
an 8-foot fence is okay, the deer will clear it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they told us.
I know.
Really,
And the
really high.
fence they have is like kind of
Oh yeah, you have
barbed wire on the
yeah, you
top.
have to have one with
like
a
I
with a
thought there was a
wing.
prison in there when I first drove by.
Well, he's going in there pretty soon. They've taken down some silos. I don't know why Pepsi would need silos, but there are some silos that have come down. He's going in to clean up the pads, break them up, and take them out of there.
You know, an awful lot of what's in there is jurisdictional.
Really?
Just take a look on the map.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were there was a stream that ran right through the property in the large wooded section. So if you were on 2A and you've got the cheapy gas station over here, no, it's over here, and you're facing into the property, there's a stream that runs through on this side in the area that we worked with them to fence.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added onto the property over here, and they've got a big swing gate and everything. You go down the bottom of the hill, there's a stream.
Which way does it run? Does it run toward?
I don't remember. I just remember that when we got down there, we found a whole bunch of pipes, and we said, "Where'd those come from?"
Yeah.
And everybody started looking at the dirt.
Oh, I wonder
Remember
where-
remember the bottom of the hill? Went through the paved area, right down on the right, in the grassy area. There were a bunch of pipes, and we think they came from detention basins that were up on the hill that then they
drain
fixed
down
and
into?
corrected.
I just wonder where it drains into.
Well, it turns out it drains into a stream at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, where does the stream go?
Okay.
It goes towards the rotary.
It would make sense if it did.
And then into Grove. pond area.
Probably ties into that area behind the apartments.
Which then comes back around.
Oh,
the road.
that goes way
That
under
makes
that.
sense.
Big part.
121 Oak Ridge. We still have 25 minutes of Jess's.
Let's see. All right,
All right.
so this was the machine that was on 26 Oak Ridge.
It's a good looking machine.
$1,000 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$1,000 a day.
and $1,000
Oh, can I see?
to move it.
I haven't looked at that lately.
This is the
So that was
moving
at
property.
26?
That was at 26. There's ledge at the top, and they've got to break out 3 feet of it. And this machine got delivered with a broken bolt, so the hammer went thunk,
Oh, look at the
and that's all it did. So they were trying to get it.
enlarge. See a nice little.
Yes, I know. I saw that.
Can I see?
That's Mr. Buxton's son.
Oh, okay.
I didn't need that.
No, neither did I.
So it's just
So-
$1,000 a day?
Yeah,
So what did you think about the big retaining wall
it's big.
in the back there?
I
Don't
couldn't
zoom in on the
really
workers.
see up behind that
Yeah.
machine.
It's a lot of big boulders stuck into the side of the hill.
Yeah.
I would not want to be in a house beneath that.
No, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't want my cellar in the house that's beneath that wall.
Mm.
So the next thing was 121 Oak Ridge. What's
Right,
that?
so
Miller's.
121 Oak Ridge
Miller's.
is Miller's, which looks like
goats.
this.
Oh, look at
It
that!
probably has looked like this for weeks. You know, there's
Mhm.
just,
Oh, they just dug out.
yeah.
So the guy showed up, dug it, never came back?
Well, they're clearly waiting for the forms to come. And that they've moved the deck outside the controls. It's just
Mm-hmm.
Painting.
sitting.
Mm.
But the controls look good. There's a lot, it's just their whole yard is just trashed. This, there is one place where the soil that they kept on this site is over the wattle,
Ugh.
but, it's on the uphillmost wing. And nothing's getting through. It's,
Mm-hmm.
All right. So disappointing, but for them, I'm sure as well.
Yes, I'm sure they're not happy. On my way to Kohler Place, I saw a crane in the yard at 2 Sandy Way and a chipper out on the street at McGuan's.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't stop in.
We just talked to Judy Schmitz.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, what
Yes.
did she have to say?
She said, that an enforcement order with a cease and desist is warranted.
Sure, I like it.
We can order that there be no more vegetation removal work done. We can order that he remove the cinder blocks and planks that are the temporary dock. We can, if we choose, order him to have the situation with the plant removal evaluated by a professional wetland scientist, because he seems to have been digging out the roots, not just cutting the plants off. She agreed completely with you that with all that bare soil, the Phragmites and other invasives were just gonna hop right in there.
Oh, yeah.
She said if he wants to legally pursue his activities, that he needs to submit a notice of intent with all of his activities outlined, including a dock, if he wants a dock. She said that the...
So, well, we couldn't act on that.
No? Keep going.
Oh, let me keep going. He would need to put his desire for a dock on the notice of intent and simultaneously go through the process of permitting a dock through Chapter 91, which she says has gotten much, much easier than it used to be. And she would be happy to help him through the process.
Does he still have to do a resource management plan?
She didn't mention that.
You know, remember when Charlie Baker came in? He did a whole bunch of regulation elimination or simplification. And I was wondering, this might be one.
So he would have to put his desire to have a dock on our notice of intent, do the Chapter 91 process, and we would then have the ability to say yay or nay to the dock on the notice of intent.
Okay, so you're saying that she said NOI with doc, pursue Chapter 91.
Yep.
If he gets through 91, then we can act on the doc.
I'm not sure that's what she said.
That makes sense though, right? Because if he's gonna go through the bother of applying for
At that point, the thing that makes the most sense is he does Chapter 91 first.
First,
So
Yeah.
then why?
She
Why go
said
through-
it had to be a simultaneous process.
Oh.
That doesn't. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
I just don't know why it would be simultaneous.
Well, once you get Pingree Hill out of the way, the orders, it would be probably good to explore what has changed in Chapter 91.
All right, let's do this then.
Yeah.
So, to this point, let's go ahead and issue him an enforcement order to cease and desist. No more vegetation removal. And remove the temporary dock, please.
So, just to avoid homeowner confusion, we do have does have a negative determination of applicability for doing the
For removing the rocks and the berm.
Right, so
Right.
that is not under the cease and desist.
No,
Right,
the
you just
idea
might
of the
wanna
cease and desist
Oh, yeah,
is that he's to
yeah.
stop the work in the pond
Right,
Yep.
and he's to remove the dock.
yeah.
Then,
You know what? My guess is that where he was working in the pond is now back to being pond bottom.
well, so let's work up to the next part of it. At that point, what probably makes the most sense is to ask Judy Schmitz, if she could come talk to us about Chapter 91. And the reason I say that is we certainly have more than one person on the pond who doesn't have a dock.
Yep.
In fact, we have Long Pond and Sandy Pond, where there are people who probably don't have docks. And so we could do a mailing. We could ask Judy if she could come meet with us in January.
Say, yeah.
So if she comes to meet with us in January, that gives us a month and a half to put together a list of properties that don't have licenses for docks on the two great ponds, Sandy Pond and Long Pond. We can do a mailing to those people and say, we're going to have a Chapter 91 meeting for those of you who missed the bus 8 years ago. Because maybe you
Still
weren't
standing
here.
in the cold on the corner.
Right. We're going to have a meeting so that we can address this if you're interested. Does that make sense?
Yeah, although I think my sense is it would make sense more to try and understand what's happened with Chapter 91 ourselves.
Well, I understand. So we can work up to that before, but
Yeah,
it would be great to have her
And
come in
then-
and talk about it
yeah.
if she's willing.
Yeah, and then contact residents after that, once we sort of know. It's,
Well, I'm not worried about learning about it at the same time as the residents, and it gives the opportunity for
yeah.
Fred and Judy and Bob and
Yeah.
Tom and Dick and Harry to talk to her that night and say, I'm going to be bringing an application to you. And that way she actually meets the people who are going to bring her applications.
Yeah.
Because like if she said she can walk him through it, if she's comfortable with it, that's a great night to find out about it. And I don't have any problem learning about it that way either. And saying to people, well, wasn't that great?
Yeah. But how do we identify people to send a mailing to?
Well, don't we know who we have dock licenses for?
We do.
Is that our responsibility though?
Hold on. So if we know who has a dock license,
And I did check, and Two Sandy Way did not.
So if we know who has a dock license and we know what properties are around the pond, then one of the things that we had also talked about was making sure that those people knew they did not have the right to have a dock.
This is scribbled, but I can make it
Okay.
unscribbled.
So the only thing that needs to come from this is that right now there's a whole bunch of properties on here. So the only thing is, if this is 30, then we need to know that there's 40 and which 10 don't have dock licenses, right? If you bang this up against the list of total properties that could have a dock on Sandy
Right.
Pond and Long Pond, then you'd be able to say, okay, we've identified that this property belongs to
Yeah.
Mr. Hogan, and we can send Mr. Hogan a letter and say, or we can even send a letter to people that are on here,
Yeah.
the whole pond, and say, everyone should know that you need to have a dock permit.
Yeah.
You live on a great pond, you need to have a dock license to have a dock. If you cannot find one, or you don't have records of your property having one, please come talk to us.
Yeah.
You could send that list out. That would be the polite way to start. And then have the meeting for the people who are interested. Does that make sense? That would be a proactive way. So your point of, is that our responsibility? The flip side of that is, do you want to go tell everybody who puts a dock in that they have to pull a dock out? And then they say, well, I didn't know. Because they probably didn't. Because this all happened 8 years ago. Wouldn't it make sense to send a note out and say, we're just letting you know, state of Massachusetts, we craft the letter. Just like we did for Chapter 91, the state of Massachusetts and the ACEC program denoted that Great Ponds, you could not have a dock. Here's what a Great Pond is, here's a link to what a Great Pond is, here's all this other information. If you cannot locate a dock license for your property, please come to the administrator.
Why don't we send out, if we're gonna send out a letter like that, I would be in favor of co-sending a letter about a 100-foot buffer.
I don't have any problem sending both of them out.
Right. Because
But
I mean,
the main thing is that
one
when
should
people
go
go to put a dock
with the
in,
other. Yeah.
anyone who came to us for a dock license knows what the dock is supposed to be.
Right.
People who didn't come to us for a dock license think that cinder blocks and planks are okay.
True.
So
True.
sending a letter out to everybody to remind them that you need to have a dock license
True.
is a great way to make sure that only good licensed docks go in.
True. And a lot of people who, don't understand the 100-foot buffer and, they don't understand that, removing vegetation and putting more sand on beaches and replenishing beaches and, that's a liability to the pond as well, right?
Yeah,
So-
I think there's probably lots of education stuff we can do
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ponds are the primary in my mind. If only because those are the people who we always seem to run into problems where they make a beach or they put a dock in the water they're not supposed to have. And then the next follow-up would be to go to wetland areas, go to like the properties we were at the other day. You live in a wonderful area where you have a tremendous resource near you. Here are the things that resource does for you. Here are your responsibilities to the resource.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's a nice letter to write to.
Right.
This stuff writes itself. Is
Right.
anyone getting this?
Right.
So,
Right. Jess is. Get in there, Jess. Get her there.
but that's my point.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that we can write, and hopefully we get folks who didn't know better, didn't understand, or maybe they don't come from an area where they ever had a wetland resource.
Well, and that's a positive interaction with somebody rather than being the one with the black eye
Right, we're
patch all
always the
time.
one,
Mhm.
always the one showing up saying, you
Mhm.
weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Now, I'm not saying it stops everybody.
oh no,
Some of the
but-
people we've had in here would probably have just said, they don't need my property. I'm sure that would happen.
Right, right.
But at the same time,
Right.
it's a good way. So
Right.
if you get 50% of the people who, might have otherwise not known any better and now have some reason to think about it,
Right,
then that's way farther ahead than you were the day before.
right, right, right.
yes,
231
Education,
Snake Hill Road?
education, education.
231 Snake Hill Road.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah,
that's wrong,
Yeah, we did.
which we took care
Yeah,
of.
yep.
Okay. I was actually thinking about this, the dog park.
This.
Yeah, when is that gonna start?
I don't know.
I asked Mark about that.
Oh.
He said he's waiting for Crabtree to do their work there before he can start.
What do they need to do?
There was some of the drainage or something,
Yeah,
wasn't
the
there?
drainage
Or
work,
basin.
yeah,
Did he get any kind of schedule out of them?
no,
Just intentions?
yeah.
See, it does work.
I
Okay.
think I talked to him briefly about that too when I went to meet with him a couple weeks ago, and he was thinking that he might possibly have to do their work in order to actually get this thing to go forward. Yeah. Yep, so horizontal.
I think it'll come more to timing than anything.
Yeah.
So, horizontal directional drilling about to get started.
Yep.
Great.
Air Solar 2's been approved by the planning board. I got a note from Dan, whose last name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, the town
Town engineer.
Vanderkamp.
Dan.
Vanderkamp.
Dan, the engineer, wants me to come down to the DPW and look around because they're going to build their new building.
They're definitely in the buffer.
Oh yeah, and to see, I thought it was a permitting strategy.
Sure. So while you're there, we also did a beaver deceiver just in that wetland area between West Main Street and
Mhm.
Bishop Road.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a chance to take a peek, it's kind of cool.
Okay, good. Elvin Kyle also let me know this morning that there's a self-storage facility getting ready to come our way from his office near the
Jackson Road entrance,
to Devon's.
I bet.
And there's an intermittent stream there.
Just so you know, Devens is Devens.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
your spell check may have changed it.
And do you know, I saw in downtown Worcester last Saturday night the statue of General Devens. There's
Wow.
a big, beautiful, beautiful bronze statue out in front of the old courthouse
In Worcester?
in Worcester,
Devin.
Get
Colonel
out of
Devins.
town.
Wow.
mounted on a horse.
Wow.
It's
That poor horse, that statue must be so heavy.
it's just gigantic.
Wow.
So that's funny. So if you go into Devens,
Yeah.
Slave owner.
and you go in, if you go into Devens,
It's coming down.
as you come in past that little entry, past that little
It's coming
building,
down.
Mhm.
just behind it, there's a brass plaque, and I always forget the guy's name, but that's where it talks about the person who really settled this whole area, all the way from Lancaster to Groton.
Mhm.
His information is on that plaque.
Ah.
He's the man who was really responsible way back when, and he's noted there. I thought that was very interesting.
Well, and Devon, I didn't realize Devens was a American Revolutionary era general.
Well, he might have been, yeah, and that's where, because
Yeah.
the original was Camp Devens, and it was formed to prepare recruits for World War I. Back when, depending upon which historical reference you read, the United States basically sent several 100,000 young men to die for the simple case of being able to be at the table when Europe was portioned back out. But that's a different discussion. Alabama, you're gonna love it.
So one of the really happy things that happened upstairs this week was an hour and 15-minute long conversation with Derek Delcourt, who is a senior at Parker,
Young Derek.
doing, we have all these young gentlemen, doing a year-long project on invasive species. And he needed to come interview somebody. So
Really?
we had the greatest time. Just his really overriding interest in invasive species is centered around wild boars in Georgia tearing up the countryside, because that's what wild boars do. And then, all the invasives just
Really?
go to town.
So what's interesting is,
Interesting.
my kids have all gone to Parker. This works as almost a senior thesis.
Yeah.
Forces them to do a real
Oh, yeah.
year-long project.
Oh yeah, he had his sheet with the questions, and he was taking notes, and invited me to his final presentation in April.
It's a lot of fun.
And yeah,
Cool.
he lives on Flanagan Pond.
Uh-huh.
He lives next to the boat ramp. He's your
Yeah.
neighbor. basically.
I know.
And he's an avid fisherman, and his Eagle Scout project
Mhm.
was the
Fishing
PVC
line.
pipes to
Yeah, he
take
came.
fishing line.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
yep,
Yep.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
He wants
Alright.
to go to Mass Maritime.
He's a good kid.
Cool.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was really important to have such a positive.
A positive,
just,
a
you know,
positive
it
thing
was
this
just- Yeah, it was great.
Full photos, very important.
Yep, I've taken.
Land use,
Yep,
yeah.
land to use.
Robert Hood, sure.
Yep.
Dealing with
Right.
beavers. That's the
There
one
we
time.
go.
Great. Okay. Only skipping ahead because we
That's-
still have
that's-
40 or 50 minutes of reformatting.
There we go.
Well, just pulls that out. After you get with Duchenne, we figure out what's going on with this area behind 143A.
Yep.
My guess is that we will probably issue an enforcement order
Mhm.
because, as Steve was saying it, I thought what a great opportunity to do some plantings in the area where they clear cut the entire section.
Yep.
Yeah. And I would check other sections as well. There are a lot of other
Well,
sections.
actually, probably the best thing to do is to say to Duchenne, you're the environmental monitor. How did you miss this? And are there any other areas?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the good place to
Yeah,
start.
that's a good
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Because it turns out he's paid to know that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so
I don't know if you have that.
Carly wanted it reformatted to match the format that everybody else is doing, sample format.
Oh, I don't.
Basically, I
have this.
took what
Okay.
we had, and
No, keep it simple.
took what we had under essential functions. I just took pretty much what we had and just created new lines. And I did have one question on when we talked about doing preparing and issuing violation notices, enforcement orders, cease and desist orders, as may be directed by the chair or the commission. And I wondered if you, about putting in the phrase, or by judgment of the conservation administrator.
Oh, I would just include the, so what is the exact language?
I added in that, in red on that one.
Investigates, excuse me, investigates reports of violations of the Wetland Protection Act, local wetland bylaw, reports, local wetland bylaw, listen to you. Reports violations immediately to the chair, and thereafter the whole Conservation Commission has next meeting, prepares and issues violation notices, of course, management. You've already got it in here, prepares and issues.
At the direction of, it's not going to,
Well, sort of. It says reports violations immediately to the chair. Thereafter, the commission, at its next meeting, prepares and issues violations notice, enforcement order, cease and desist, as may be directed by the chair of the commission. Why not just change that to be, take out as may be directed and all the rest of it?
so take out what? Feel
So,
free.
prepares and issues violations notice, enforcement orders, and cease and desist orders
Okay.
to violators on private and project sites. So therefore, it covers
It
both
covers-
as directed or not directed.
Okay. And then in the beginning part of it, in the beginning part, we just had to do position, purpose, supervision, scope, all that, job environment, and I added in operates own automobile for field inspections, but our job environment is both the office and the field,
Absolutely.
which is very different from and any other job really. Most of the
Did you
jobs
put
we do.
inspects heavy machinery and potential cracks in workers?
And then on the physical requirements, I did add in a couple lines.
Calisthenics.
Yeah. These are all part of the categories they require. We had the regular and detailed field inspections are an essential function of this job. Candidates must be physically able to walk moderate distances outdoors and move safely over uneven and sometimes uncleared terrain. And I added this, Saturday site walks in the field generally run 2 hours in length, but may go as long as 4 hours. An applicant should be able to be on their feet for that length of time.
That works for me. You didn't put hot yoga in, but sure.
Right.
Did you say her feet?
I said their feet. I used that generic.
Okay.
Non-specific.
Yeah.
You didn't gender that crap up.
I didn't gender that crap up, but you can.
I loved what you said. Seems like everything makes sense. Did you really say she has to be able to operate a postage machine?
Well, on the.
In fact, actually, you've got
No. all this stuff, a lot of this stuff was the language that everybody else was using, too. So I just, rather than recreate, just.
Must be
Yeah,
able to.
yeah.
How about reading construction documents? That's in
Yeah.
there? Okay,
Reading
good.
plans.
And leaping utility trenches in a single bound?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I
But
had
it's
to
certainly a
do
good
that.
idea. I don't know, it's like a necessity.
Yeah, when we were,
Must be able to
Utility
gossip.
trenches.
I don't gossip, sorry.
no, go in the office and she's got the headphones out for noise control.
It's good. Yeah. You need
I listen to raindrops. Yes, Rain, the app.
That's
You
awesome.
get different storms
Wow.
to suit your mood, and it's just.
I would like to go to sleep like listening
This
to
is how they
that.
turn into
Rain,
25-minute ads. Did you have anything more to add to that?
I don't know. I haven't read it. So
Oh, no, this is easy. Do you nothing else for the meeting? Whatever ends up in here will be appropriate, I'm sure. George?
Yeah.
Oh, and I did add in, under the land use, I updated it to include assisting us with governance of the conservation fund and also participating on that land use team that she now is on, so.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Coming right up on that 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything else?
No.
No.
The only thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was one of the things that we've spoken about repeatedly, and I'm super excited after our next meeting to spend December, hopefully with no other things on our plate except talking about how we're going to go forward, things that we're going to do, some of these proactive letters and engagement and discussions, and it would be swell to plan out next year
yeah.
with just a loose idea of how we're going to do things. And even though I was totally against it, George said I was being fresh. Maybe even talk about the idea of taking back up the bylaw, which I think is a disaster, but
George, you said that?
Well,
I didn't hear you say that.
we have to do one other. We also have to do policies and procedures for the conservation fund.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would suggest for that, we form a subcommittee, work with the town administrator and the CPC,
Yeah.
just so we don't have
Yeah.
any more late nights than we have to.
Yeah. 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 Good idea. Also, I think for the bylaw, I think we should take surrounding towns like Shirley, whatever town. I mean, Groton.
right. And just say, here you go.
Yeah, and I think we should basically kind of do copycat.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and there's a big effort in town hall to kind of up everybody's game.
Yeah.
And Planner Mark is
Yep.
working on new zoning
Yep.
bylaws.
Yep.
And
Actually, I think it's gonna
and I
die.
think if we came in on the tail
Mm-hmm.
of that,
Mm-hmm.
it would not be
Mm-hmm.
such a terrible thing.
No, no.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't be the only one doing it.
Right, exactly. It's consensus, I think.
Well, there's,
Yeah.
it makes sense to catch up.
Yeah.
And every now and then say, well, this is what catching up feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You know, we're matching the towns around us.
Mhm.
But first of all, if you worry about your real estate values, do you want to be in the town where anything's possible?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be in the town that is working to stay up with the zoning and planning and conservation regulations that are around us?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And of course, the people who are trying to build will jump up and say, no, we don't want that. But everyone else will say, I guess that does affect my property values. Maybe that is a good
I
idea.
don't want rain in my basement. I don't
Oh,
want
no,
water in my
no,
basement.
we're not touching that one. That's going to continue. Would you like to make a motion to adjourn even?
Absolutely.
And would you like to
I will
second?
second that.
Is anyone in favor?
Aye.
I